Ready?
Yes.
All right. What's going on, everyone? This is brewpac.shakur, aka Vice.
Hey, everybody, it's Art.
And this is Brian.
And welcome to the Brewing Podcast, episode 22.
22, son.
Hey, deuce.
Yeah, where we're creating community connections through casual conversations. Do us a favor and subscribe to the channel. It does help us out. If everyone's wondering where we're at, we actually did some renovation in the Brewing Podcast. Got some new things. Not just kidding, but we're in Joshua Tree. So we took a retreat, a Brewing retreat, and we are utilizing this weekend to shoot a couple episodes.
For those in the audio listening, the background is not the usual. It's very bright in here.
There's a couple of guitars on the wall.
Yeah.
We got a couple of special guests behind the scenes, dining with Christine, my wife Nadine, and then we have our special guests. On today's episode, we have Bo Bagtas. Bo is a registered nurse specialized in psychiatric nursing. Let's welcome Bo to the show.
Hey.
All right, let's cheers to that.
Cheers.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Pick this up, huh? How do you do this?
Like this? Yeah. You can get it all over my laptop. ASMR.
Yeah.
So shout out to Christine. I guess today's episode we're sponsored by Craftwell Cocktails. My drink is pineapple margarita.
I got the peach mojito.
I went with the blueberry Cosmo.
And I have the strawberry margarita.
Nice.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We clink in?
Cheers.
We
Clink,
clink in?
clink,
Clink in?
clink. I can't reach that far.
It is a brisk 10.5% alcohol volume.
This is going to be
Very
interesting
nice.
Be a good
episode. All right. Testimonials. We like to read testimonials on the show. These come from our community members, taken from either conversations, comments, and or direct messages, a.k.a. DMs.
I know that part.
This testimonial is from actually dining with Christine. She's in the audience today. So she says, I just got to the part where you showed the yellow foot on the podcast. Laugh my ass off. Jaundice? Oh my gosh, I'm laughing out loud. Thanks, Christine. Oh, and it says here, and Terrace House Nandini? My favorite.
Wait, what was this yellow food? What?
It was the episode where I was talking about I went to the Philippines with my cousins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember now.
And this person put their foot on my cousin Sam's.
Yeah.
And it was, a little hand rest, and it was yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, dude.
All right, back to our special guests. Let's get things going. We have Bo Bagtas. Part of this podcast, we want to, get to know a lot of our guests. I know we have a lot of nursing friends, and so specifically to you, you chose psychiatric nursing.
Yeah.
What made you choose that route?
High school, I really had no idea what I wanted to do. You'd be quite surprised. I actually never wanted to become a nurse.
Oh, okay.
My parents never pushed me. That wasn't on the table. My mom's not a nurse. There's not the typical that. I actually wanted to become a computer science major.
Oh,
Went into, I didn't do too well in school. I feel like I didn't push hard. I wasn't the go-getter type. I kind of just went along with the flow. Started at Miramar College, where actually I may have had a class with Brian.
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
We can't remember what class it was. Somewhere along the line, we
Was it a science class?
Pretty sure it was bio.
Bio?
it could have been. Yeah, I had to do
okay.
that. Yeah, but yeah, actually, I went into college thinking I wanted to be a computer science major. That was one of those things that actually was a motivation. I have a cousin I'm kind of close with. Shout out to Lloyd. I don't
okay.
know
What's up, Lloyd?
if my cousins or any of you guys know my friend or my cousin Lloyd.
Cousin friend?
Yeah. I just remember
like family friend.
he's older than me. How old is he? He's like 2 years older than me. He did this whole thing in high school or just growing up. He was very technical. Him and his friends used to make skit videos. This is before YouTube times, and I just remember having those files on my computer, watching them, be like, I want to do that kind of stuff. Got into college and did the the prereq stuff. Took my first coding class. I think it was a C++. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
you took coding.
Yeah, I took a
That's
coding
hard.
class.
Okay.
Computer science, man.
Yeah.
Started doing that stuff, trying to follow and code things to whatever the parameters were. And I was like, I don't want to do this. And I quickly learned that the whole computer thing and the like all the editing and stuff like that was fun for me.
Yeah.
I didn't see that becoming into a career that I wanted to do every day.
Yeah.
And, not to get too deep into it, but I actually had a point where I stopped going to school and was just pretending I was going to school.
Oh, I was in the same place.
Yeah.
Same, I get
And you would know, our friend
Definitely.
from high school, I was just hanging out in his garage and
Mm-hmm.
things weren't going anywhere. We were just having fun, Brings up, I don't even know why my wife was still around during that time. By the time I had got out of high school, she was already deep into college and had the direction, But she was there. Needless to say, that was how many years? 24 years ago.
Damn, 24 years ago.
Still together now. So
Year 2000.
everything worked out.
Okay.
Was it 24? 24 years about roughly. What is it? 24? Maybe 21. Sorry, my bad.
That's a little bit of difference. A little bit of difference. 3 years off.
Hey, when it gets that long, stuff starts blending in together. Eventually, it turned into one thing where she finished school, she was starting in her career, and I was just doing nothing, and I had to figure out something quick.
Yeah.
This is back in the day when it was regular TV and they had commercials and
Wow.
No ads, right? No-
commercials.
you can't skip through it, right?
Going along with how I was in the go-getter lazy type, saw a commercial. I was like, ooh, X-ray tech. Like,
Oh, okay.
So I was like, oh, it's still like the digital thing.
Yeah.
You just
Was
take
it
picture
like
of people.
like one of those like
I'm
DeVry
gonna take
things?
pictures. Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna take pictures of people's bones. So I was like, that sounds fun.
Yeah. There you go.
I don't even know if this school still exists now. Pima Medical Institute.
Pima.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
They still have those ads popping
And,
up on
given, I know I'm not giving the whole timeline and everything, but let's say about 2-3 years already were wasted. And I was like, I got to do something quick. I went, signed up. They're like, oh, yeah, we'll get you into our program, but it'll be for October. I was like, great. But it was like October of the next year.
Oh,
That's
shit.
how-
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
That's a whole nother.
Yeah.
So that's 4 years.
That's how
Pima.
impacted that thing was. And I was like, I can't do that. I can't wait. There was a college at the time, Merritt College.
Oh, Merrick.
Is that still
I remember
around?
Merrick.
Is that still on?
I don't think so.
No.
It changed many times. I went over there, walked in. I was like, what do you have? What's the quickest thing?
They're like,
What do you got for me?
Yeah, what kind of short program?
they're like, I'm just a
I need
lunch
a-
lady.
Yeah.
And
Still
then,
has a hairnet and everything.
and then you figured out you're in the cafeteria.
Hey man, you can't job hunt in an empty stomach.
They're one of those, what do you call those? Those vocational schools,
Yeah.
the professional ones.
Yeah.
They don't see. You guys had the real college experience. I never had any of that. Closest I had was going with my wife to her college when she was going to UCR.
UCR, okay.
I didn't.
UC Riverside. Shout out to, what's their mascot?
Oh, the
The Bears?
Is it the
Anteaters is Irvine.
Irvine.
That's
Irvine.
Irvine.
Yeah.
Zot,
Zot,
zot.
zot.
Marauders?
Marauders?
That's high school.
That's Mira Mesa.
Sorry, Highlanders.
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 I
the
never
Bear.
knew that.
Yeah.
Riverside Highlanders? Okay.
Now we know.
There can only be
I know,
one.
yeah.
Yeah. So pretty much I went in there. I needed something quick, and I chose. I ended up doing a medical assisting program.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
You remember those
Okay.
commercials telling you can become a medical assistant?
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally did that. I think it was a 3-month program. Surprisingly, I did really well in that program.
Yeah.
I think I was only one question off. I would have been top of class.
Damn.
Some girl beat me out. But, shout out to her. She's
Dang.
probably doing great in her life now.
Is this like this kind of program, is it hands-on or is it a lot of testing?
They have the basics. You got to learn terminology and stuff like that
Okay.
that apply to the job. But, vocational schools, you do a lot of the hands-on.
Okay.
So, the medical assistant, if you guys don't know, medical assistant, I don't know if you see them as much anymore. I haven't followed up on that stuff.
Oh, no, that's still a
But-
big thing. Yeah.
See them maybe when you go to your clinic, you have a
Mhm.
cold, and the person who checks you in to come out and say your
Yeah.
name, bring you back to do your vitals,
Yeah.
things like
Get
that.
blood pressure and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, get your blood pressure and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, that's a pretty straightforward thing, But yeah, going back to your thing, like what kind of stuff do you learn in that school? Very hands-on.
Nice.
There was times we would just sit in class, we would draw blood on each other.
Oh, what? On each other?
Yeah.
You're all
At the same
sweet.
time? So it's just like,
Ready? Go.
Funny thing that came out of that is I learned I was a very hard stick.
Okay.
A hard stick being, I don't have very good veins,
Yeah.
Oh.
Pretty sure camera to show now I'm not very vascular.
Yeah.
There's people you can see veins going for days.
Oh, that's
right?
hard then. So you got to keep going until you
strike
find
gold.
something.
Yeah, so I became the challenge for everyone. Everyone
Yeah.
wanted to do it on me because it was good practice.
Yeah.
Good practice. But yeah, going back to shorten that, I finished that program. I did really well, and that's where it clicked. And I was like, maybe medical's for me.
Nice.
I finished that. I was in a clinic. Kind of funny thing. It was like a preventative health clinic. A lot of that stuff they did was out of pocket. They did like advanced scans, bone scans, and things like that, just to determine people's health before it got bad.
Okay.
I think the biggest thing that clinic did was virtual colonoscopies. So
So you went in people's
Virtual.
butts
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Virtually?
Virtually, yeah.
Nice.
with a camera.
No, with the
What would it be? A little
long
scope,
is this?
right? Like
it wasn't an X-ray machine. It's the one that does the slices.
Oh, I have
Takes a bunch of pictures.
like a CT.
Like a crosscut kind of thing?
CT scan.
I think it's CT. Yeah, CT. It wasn't MRI. It was CT.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
okay.
that's
It's different.
wild.
It's different, yeah.
Yeah, so they had some weird technology that put it all together and gave them a virtual look through their colon, I guess.
Hmm.
You know, some people prefer that. It's better than the full colonoscopy
Yeah.
where they go in there with the
Snake
camera.
in
and-
that,
Yeah,
snake.
just go to town in there.
yeah.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
They leave it up.
So I did that, and it turned into I wanted more.
Yeah.
And since I did so well at that program, I was like, all right, what's the next step? I want to, I got my feet wet.
Graduated the program.
Graduated the program.
Okay. What year is this? Do you remember?
Maybe 2006 or 7-ish.
2006. Okay.
Roughly.
Nice.
It clicked, and I was like, I think medical's for me. So I wanted to do the next thing. I actually chose to go back to that same school. They had programs for LVNs, the licensed vocational nurse, and they had the RN program. Finances were tight. I felt like I already did my parents wrong because of that whole thing of pretending to be in school.
Did they ever find out?
They did, for sure.
What did that whole situation? like, how did that play out?
Oh, no.
Were there tears
It wasn't
involved?
good. I know
No?
that for sure.
Definitely not.
There was a lot of deep conversations with parents. It came to that point when I got to that other program, I had to come to my parents and say, I can't get approved for the full loan for school. Would you guys be willing to co-sign with me? And the craziest thing, I don't know if you guys are familiar. My dad used full Navy, did the full
20 years,
the
20
full
plus,
career.
right?
Yeah. And I could have went to any regular university, would have been all covered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is a big ask. I'm asking to go to a private college and have everything, And on top of that, it's more expensive than.
Yeah, because it's
the
private.
funny thing. You look at it now. I feel like my nursing program was in the high 20s compared to nowadays
Now
prices
it's
is
like-
wild.
Yeah.
But back then that was
Oh yeah.
that was a lot.
Inflation,
And I-
right?
And I remember I was just at the point. I was asking my parents like, "Hey, can you just co-sign with me?" And they were like, "How do we know you're not going to change your mind again?"
Who said that? Out of your parents?
I'm pretty sure my dad.
Your dad.
Yeah.
Okay.
My dad's the level-headed one that, very worst case scenario.
Ah, okay.
And as he should be. I
Right.
I already told him I was going to be a computer science major, and I
Didn't do that.
just stopped.
Yeah.
yeah.
So that was a hard thing. And shout out to my parents. They came through and they said, "You know what? We're not going to co-sign with you."
Oh wow.
Oh,
Wait, they're not. You said they're not.
No, they're
They
not
will
going to co-sign.
not.
And they
Damn.
came. See, it sounds crazy, right? But they
Yeah.
came in
Right.
and they said, they met with the financial counselor. Said, "How much is it out of pocket?
Yeah.
We want to pay a payment plan." My dad, he's very. At least I like to believe he's very good financial wise.
That's smart.
And he's like,
Yeah.
"Why am I going to pay a loan with all these, all
Interests,
these
yeah.
interests? How much is it per month?" And then luckily by that time, we had been in our house for so long, and the house was almost paid off. And on top of that, the cost of living when they bought it was so much cheaper.
Right.
like
They're not
200,000s, right? Like back in the
I'm
90s.
pretty sure they bought their house
Yeah.
early, whatever it was, like low 100s or whatever.
Oh shoot! Dang. Okay.
So
Don't see prices like that no more.
I was thankful enough
Imagine.
that pretty much I was thankful enough that my parents were able to manage the couple $1,000s a month to pay for my program.
Dang.
The program was great, and I learned quickly.
How long was it? Was it like a few months?
This was accelerated, so a little less than 4 years,
Oh, yeah, that's
No.
right. Dang.
which was great. Got me through it, and I didn't have to really full time work or anything. I had some small part time jobs during the program, but my parents, they stepped in and they were willing to support me.
Wait. So what kind of job?
My first job out of high school, I was this is so funny. Everyone looks it back and they were like, "You were the quietest one during high school.
Yeah.
You didn't talk a lot." And it's true.
In our group, you talk, but like you just have to get used to the.
Yeah, I felt like I was one of those ones that like to listen.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
which turned out being a great thing for what I do now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, going into, since you're asking jobs wise, out of high school, actually, my first job was being a telemarketer.
Oh, what?
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh.
Dial America, right there in.
Do you still remember
Bro.
your pitch?
hey, is
Oh.
Mr. Smith
It's the
available?
wildest thing. Being this is being.
I can't say it.
Say it.
No, keep going. I'll edit this part out.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, this is good. Yeah, I like this. We're going into all these different things.
Yeah.
So, telemarketing, how was that, dude? It was the weirdest thing. This is one of those places where just imagine a call center.
Right.
You went into the office?
No, it was like let's just say an auditorium
cubicle.
with
Oh.
cubicles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Same set of headphones. We had our own mic and everything. And you don't dial the numbers. The computer. The moment you end a call, the computer automatically goes to the next call.
Oh,
wow.
snap.
And then it
Just
tells you,
bam,
there's a
bam,
little
bam.
screen that
Yeah.
tells you what you're calling for, what this person's name is.
Yeah.
And, being on the other side, like if you've ever answered telemarketer call,
Oh, yeah.
call,
Yeah.
you don't give them the time of day.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You'd
I
be
hate those
surprised
calls.
Right
when
now,
you're
yeah.
working telemarketing.
It's a scam.
There's a
It's
lot of
scammer.
people. There's a lot of people who actually take the call and they want to hear it.
Yeah, that's my dad. He entertains those calls, and then he gets mad.
Wait, why does he get mad?
He gets mad because he goes back and forth with it. I'm like, dude, Dad, hang up the phone.
Yeah. You don't owe him anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, how wild this is,
All right.
So, what do you call them? The people you work with or the accounts you have? We had like
Oh, clients?
Accounts.
Counts.
Was it Time Warner was one of the big ones?
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's a pretty normal one.
Right.
I can't remember the exact script or what we were selling, but it would tell you on the screen what it was. So it would be like, I would make the call and be like, "Hi, I'm looking for Jason."
Oh, what? You
And
called
then
me?
you'd answer the phone and be like, "Yeah, this is Jason. What do you want?" And be like, there was a
I
script.
got a
that-
crazy deal for you, buddy. Listen to this.
Yeah.
Wait, before you hang up.
Exactly. I started off horrible. You had a script that was on paper.
Right.
That
Or on the screen. On the screen, right?
Oh, they had it on the paper.
Oh, there's a paper one too. Okay.
Of like how you can present it. And that's how I started. I would read it and be like, "Hi, my name is Bo. I'm calling from Time Warner. I just want to let you know, etc."
Like very dry, right?
And
Yeah.
it wasn't working out at
But
first.
then in the background, you have like an R&B song playing too.
Yeah. But the environment, right? They make it competitive.
Oh, wow.
You're given
okay.
a bell. Like,
What?
What?
Every time
Oh,
you,
like you make a sale?
every time you close the deal, you ring the bell.
Oh.
There was goals. You hit the floor at 6. That first person gets the bell. You're like, "Damn, I'm behind now."
Dang.
Oh.
So I started off, I was just normal. I read it. I was like, it's not working out. People would hang up on me. I don't have time for this. I gotta
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are familiar. You
Yeah.
Don't you ever call me again, you hear me?
I'm sleeping. That's my dad's. I'm sleeping. I have another job. I'm like, Dad, what are you gonna tell them? Like, why are you still on the phone after like 8 minutes?
You're on the phone, I'm sleeping.
Yeah, I'm sleeping. Don't call again. No, he goes straight forward. That's how he does it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you were in that. So you were in that job for how long? Not even a year.
Couple months, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it was good pay. I mean, I think it was in the high teens way back.
Oh,
in
back then.
2003.
That's pretty good. That's really good
That's-
money. Yeah.
And then on top of that, there was what was it called? Commissions.
Oh.
Oh, shoot.
You get X amount of sales, and they'd have your name up there, and they'd just start tallying. I remember I was in there. I was like, I want to be top
Yeah.
sales.
Right.
Yeah.
You're like
But of course, at the beginning,
maybe next year.
of course, at the beginning, it didn't start off that way.
Yeah.
Eventually, I was a young kid and I'd never had a job, and I had to ask. I remember my supervisor back then. Her name was Maggie, and I was like,
Maggie, the telemarketing
It would be
supervisor.
Maggie.
I was like, here,
Did she smoke cigarettes?
I don't even know.
Oh, that sounds like
it.
she was like this. Hey, back in my day,
It was just interesting. I was like, do I need to read it word for word?
verbatim. Yeah.
And she's like, no. The only verbatim you have to do is like the legals. But however you want to sell it, you can sell it. So I changed it up. It was no longer, "Hi, my name is Bo, calling from Time Warner." I said, "Jason, my name is Bo. I'm going to cut it short. You have Time Warner? Right now, we can offer you HBO, Cinemax, and Showtime for free 3 months. If you don't like it, cancel it."
To be honest, I would stay on the phone call for the yeah. You switching it up, and so it's like I see a little bit about your personality.
Yeah.
I'll entertain it, and then I'll be like,
Yeah. I'm
I'm
sleeping.
not
Yeah.
interested. Did you not hear my dad? He's sleeping. We live in the same house.
Yeah, and pretty much I'll just be like, that's it. And they'd be like, "That's it?"
Take it or leave it. Yeah.
And they'd be like, "Yeah, I want to do that." I was like, "I don't even care if you cancel it before the 3 months,
Yeah.
but this is your opportunity." 'Cause
Yeah.
most of the
That's
people,
smart.
they forget
Yeah.
to cancel it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Yeah.
how
Yeah, that's how you get you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes.
I didn't even tell you about the fees later, bro.
Yeah,
But
the fee goes through
you
that
get
one
3 months for
yeah.
free.
Yeah, the fee goes through that 4th month, then they cancel it. But by that time, the company's already made money.
Yeah. Jackpot.
And they'd be like, you know what? That sounds good. I want to do that. And I'm going to be like, I have to be straightforward with you. The next part, I have to say it verbatim.
Yeah.
I hit the record button. So that way, when they say, I didn't order that, then they can go back to the tape.
Yeah.
And be like,
you got proof.
you know, Jason V, just to let you know, this is what you're signing up for. For the next 3 months, you will get this and this. After those 3 months, you will be charged X, Y, Z.
Mm-hmm.
You are able to cancel before then, but anytime after 3 months, you will be charged. You know,
Yeah.
that was it. And that was it. They'd say yes, they'd say no. Not hit the bell. Everyone go wild. You know, I look at the next closest salesperson. I point at them and go,
I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
you know,
But you got more yeses by changing it up like that.
yeah.
Than no's.
Once I figure out I can
yeah.
do my own thing.
Yeah.
But you know, before we stop about that job, I just want to point out one thing. One of the craziest things that I had to sell was identity.
What the
Huh?
This is how he is. This is how he is.
This is
Yeah. Well, I know
I'm
that.
gonna have to bleep that part.
Yeah. Could you
Yeah, I'm just gonna bleep. I'll leave it in.
The bleep makes it worse. It's like,
People are trying to read lips. I've had people try to read lips.
wait, really?
I said it like this.
Yeah.
A little.
All right. Well,
Okay.
The craziest thing you had to sell.
Craziest thing.
Yeah.
Believe this or not.
Right.
I was selling this. This had a high commission rate too. I was selling identity theft protection,
What?
I did.
cold call on the phone to people.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? And people will do it.
Oh, what?
Oh yeah. Hey, you can do that off
know?
the clock too.
Identity theft protection.
Shoot.
Like they have those things now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Experian, it'll notify you on your
How'd you
phone.
do it? Did you like scare them already? Like, hey, is this John Smith? And they're like, yeah. It's like, oh, isn't it crazy that I have your information?
I don't even think I did it as like, is this? I was just be like, I'm looking for, I'm trying to reach.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
A little bit more. It's a little bit more active.
Got it, yeah.
I'd be like, is this John Smith? He'd be, yeah, this is John. I'd be like, hey, the warranty on your card's expiring. We can offer it. I'm just yeah, so that was one of those
God.
things. And yeah, we did that. And that was a big learning experience. I've never worked.
Mhm.
And I was like, you know, it was a regular job. They had casual Friday.
Oh wow.
And I remember one time I went,
Jeans.
one time it wasn't a Friday, came in jeans. I said, why does it matter? I'm on the phone. They can't see me. I remember I got in trouble that time.
Oh really?
My next job after that is I actually worked at the mall.
Oh.
Nice.
You guys
Which
remember?
one?
No, you don't remember me?
What place?
I worked at Mission Valley Mall.
Oh shoot.
Okay.
I worked at one of those kiosks
That's
in the
not
middle.
around anymore, is it?
No, it is.
No, it's still around.
Yeah.
It's not very good.
I think there's only Target over there though.
But this is
Oh,
back
I don't
when
know any other
this is
stores.
back when it was actually a good busy mall.
Yeah.
I was actually set up at a kiosk right outside of Abercrombie. You guys remember that?
Where you
selling?
Abercrombie?
Yeah.
Rubies.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Right there. And I worked at cell phone kiosks.
Oh.
So
Oh, the ones in between,
the
right?
accessories.
Yeah.
Singular.
Yeah. No. The accessories.
light up
the
batteries.
case. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Okay.
That stuff was popular back
Yeah,
then. Right?
Nokia 3390s, right?
No, this
No?
is a little later than that.
Custom
a little later?
cases.
We
Oh, yeah,
already,
that was like
I think
high
we were
school.
BlackBerry. BlackBerry was the big thing.
Oh
got
yeah,
it.
with a little.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And
with
then,
the-
you know, what made it
Thumb
different,
wheel?
though, what made our thing different was that I was able to buy phones, used phones.
Oh wow.
Oh
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, I was able to buy used phones and I was able to offer either cash or a check right there.
Dang.
on the spot.
Y'all have a
You know, of
safe
course.
in that kiosk?
There was
or-
a certain limit.
Oh, okay.
Like if it went, I think, over $100, I had to do a check.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was interesting. A lot of people were probably snatching phones and selling them.
Oh yeah.
To be
Yeah.
honest, you know, as a company, they didn't care as long as it
Yeah.
was clean. You remember back in the day, like Verizon and
AT&T.
no,
T-Mobile.
Verizon and Sprint. Right?
Sprint.
They were the ones that didn't do the SIM cards and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh
I-
yeah.
Yeah, I would take the phones. I had to call Verizon and run the serial number and be like, "Is this a clean number?" They'd be like, "Yeah, it's clean. Cool, we'll buy it." You know, they'd be like, "No, it's not clean. It's reported stolen." I'd be like, "All right, here's your phone. You got to go."
That's why you gotta sell it right away, right?
No. If it was stolen, we didn't take it.
Yeah.
That was a legitimate thing.
Oh, like you would call them like on the spot, like, hey.
I call them on the spot. Be like, if they say the phone's clean, I'll buy it from you. Weird.
And the
like-
guy's like, it's all right. I think.
Yeah. It was interesting. There was no computer to check updated prices. Owner, boss would just show up with a binder and be like, "Here's the prices for the day."
Dang, binder.
Oh.
Yeah, and I did some on the side stuff too. They'd be like,
Who was sheet protectors or no? It was just
it'd be like, oh, if I bought like an iPod, they'd be like, oh, the book says I can only give you like 30,
this much.
Yeah.
and they'd be like, oh, that's not enough. But I was like, that's a good iPod. I'll give you 35 of my own money.
So off the clock, 35.
It's off the books.
Yeah.
No, you know what's funny? I used to do that at GameStop. I would hang out there. This is back when Jollibee was next to GameStop.
Oh yeah.
I would hang out there on my breaks, and people would sell their games, and then they would give them the amount that they're gonna buy them for, and I would put $5 on it and buy it from them.
Yeah.
Because GameStop they rip you off. They rip you off.
Yeah.
But the point out though, it's not right to do that. If you work for a company, you shouldn't be doing that. But at the same time, I'll say that company, I felt like they didn't care about us.
Yeah.
It was very small. It was some guys entrepreneurial thing and things like that.
Yeah.
And in reality, I think I was looking to make the customer happy.
Mm-hmm.
They came out all the way to sell that phone, and they're like $30, and they're upset with it. And I'm like, well, I want it.
So I'll take it.
So back to nursing.
All right.
Now
Let's get back
we got
on
his
the
job
path.
history now.
We took some side detours, and now we're back to nursing.
Back to nursing. So I went back to that school. I wanted to do LVN program. That school finance thing we talked about.
Yeah.
That was a little. I guess we're timeline off, but the LVN thing I was going to do that because I wanted to go the cheaper route.
Yeah.
Any of my nursing friends, they know these schools. They want to get the students to have the most chance of succeeding.
Mm-hmm.
Nursing schools they sell to you. Our pass rate right now is currently 92%. Of our
that's pretty good.
of our
Pass
100
rate, yeah.
students
Yeah,
or whatever from the
pretty good.
last class.
That's what keeps them. Was it their credentials?
Yeah, so
happening?
they looked at my record. They were like, "You did so well in the other program. Why don't you go full on RN?" I was like, "Well, I wasn't expecting to spend that much."
Yeah.
And I remember going in. They were like, "Well, how about we just take the entrance exam, see how you do?
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe you'll score high enough." I was like, "Yeah."
How many questions was that?
The entrance exam?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I know nowadays the tests are different.
Yeah.
Mine was whatever was before the TEAS test. I remember
What is that?
TEAS. I don't even remember what it stands for.
Oh,
But it was some sort of test to get into nursing. The one I did was so weird. I remember the questions being so random. Like, of these 5 objects, what is different? It'd be like cedar. It would be redwood. It would be
Mahogany.
aluminum. I'd be
yeah.
like,
You're like, what?
aluminum?
Aluminum.
That's obviously it's metal, right?
Yeah.
That's a weird random question. I
I
guess.
know, right? I feel like I don't even think that nothing was nursing based.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was just like general knowledge stuff, right?
Okay.
But short story, I did really well, and they were like, you scored high enough. You can do RN program. We can start you next
So
month.
it's like an IQ test or something.
Yeah, it's an
They can see
assessment,
where
yeah.
you're at, right?
Yeah. I did really well, and they were like, you can start next month in the program. It's like perfect. And of course, that's where the parent things came in, and they came in and they were like, here, we'll set you up.
Yeah.
You got to make sure that you're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I did the whole nursing school thing. Had an interesting experience. I remember I failed my first med surg class.
Oh.
My head wasn't in it.
Yeah.
And it was like the hardest thing. I even tried to like contest it. Whatever my first 3 tests I did subpar,
Yeah.
but on the final I did amazing.
Yeah.
And my argument was I proved it. I learned it. I know it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I literally missed the class by like 1 point.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
And they wouldn't
It wouldn't budge, huh?
it was a money thing. And
Yeah.
It's like that 1 point could have had you pay for the class again or whatever.
But
Yeah.
they're also teaching good lessons. Nursing is a lot of accountability.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
True.
Yeah.
We're working on a license, and a lot of it is, a lot of things that we can do could be detrimental.
Oh, definitely.
So I get it. They were trying to instill that you got to be accountable for things like that.
You're responsible for someone else's life, right?
Yeah,
And it could
in
be
a sense-
also a
In
lawsuit.
a sense, yeah.
This person's allergic to peanuts. What are you doing?
I went into nursing school. I thought I was going to be a pediatric nurse.
Oh, wow.
Oh, okay.
As a
For the
kid,
kids.
I have a lot of photos. I lived in a hospital for a while.
Oh, what?
Oh, didn't know that. No.
Wild story. My brother. Shout out to my brother Nimitz.
Shout out to Nimitz.
No hard feelings on this one.
Better not be.
As a kid, only months old, my brother is older. For those of you that don't know,
Mm-hmm.
he's older than me. He's a lot bigger too. At least when we were younger, he was always the bigger kid.
Yeah.
He did this thing where he was like carrying me just by the arm.
Uh-huh.
One arm.
Oh, what the
His
heck?
arm. And actually,
How old were you?
I feel like it's 11 months, like
Oh,
10,
shit.
11 months or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Hey.
And
No one was watching him?
hey, who knows?
Okay. But you had
But,
something with your arm, right?
Yeah, I have a good scar here. Got a rip, and I got a bone infection. Osteo.
Whoa.
Hold on.
You
Not
got it?
porosis, myelitis. Yeah.
Colitis. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
So I have all these photos of me as a kid in a hospital, fluids running, IVs running, and me still celebrating stuff.
Yeah.
you know?
Oh,
And I was like, "Ooh, I want to provide that same experience as a
Yeah.
pediatric nurse. I want to be there where those kids are, you know."
Pay it forward.
And I thought I was going to do that too. Before I finished nursing school, I picked up a job. They call them sitters. You know, you just sit there with the patients to make sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And it was through an agency, and they were like, you know, as long as your patient is either, you know, watching TV, sleeping, or anything, as long as you're bedside, you can study.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is the perfect like work and school job.
Yeah.
Getting paid to, you know, learn my stuff for school.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was doing that, and I was over at one of the children's hospitals in the area.
Okay.
Like, you know, that makes it easy. You know where I live, so
Yeah.
only one of those. But I was through an agency, and yeah, and I was doing that. Everything was going well. I was like, this is perfect. You know, I got my foot in the door,
Nice.
and then I finally finished school, and I was still at that agency, which was fine. But you know, agency work is not the greatest as far as benefits go and pay goes.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those things like you provide them an availability for work, which is fine. But you know, nurses, we work the whole 12-hour shifts. We want to do three days a week, and that's it. So I would sign up for 3 days a week. This agency set up where if I was doing a day shift where I start at 7, they call it 6 and they say, "Hey, Bo, you got a shift." Great,
shoot.
cool. I'll be over there.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So if I only put myself for 3 days, what was happening is they would either call like once or none.
Oh, shit.
Then I would be like, oh man, that doesn't work out.
Yeah.
You know, then going back to my wife who's already into her career, it's one of those things like, well, I need to match that, you know.
Right.
How are we going to progress forward in life if, you know, I'm not stable? You know what I mean? So then I started doing a thing. It was, okay, if that's how it works, I'll put myself available for 5 days.
Yeah.
And then guess what happens?
They call you every day.
They call
Every
you-
day.
Yeah, 5 days. And you're like, oh man, I'm
Damned if you
exhausted.
do, damned if you don't.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And I'm a person who really enjoys. I need my rest. I need my sleep. You know.
Yeah.
So pretty much it turned into a thing. Like I want to work for the actual hospital. I don't want to be part of this agency anymore. I got parents who are teaching. You know, you got to start investing for your future and all this stuff. And that stuff wasn't, you know, available. There's no match to this agency.
Oh, man.
know.
Yeah.
So I was, I'm gonna try to get into the hospital itself and go through their new grad program. And me thinking, you know, I'm already working there. They know me, but since it's the only children's hospital in the area for miles, you know, for like the county, they get a lot of applicants.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You know, needless to say, short stories, I didn't get in, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna try for the next semester.
Yeah.
Of the thing, you know, I was like, I still want to do this. So I actually started with another agency. I was doing home health, pediatric home health.
Okay.
That was a fun time. You know, I did everything from being a school nurse
Oh.
to
Oh.
in home.
School nurse.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was one of the schools out in Oceanside.
I have a headache.
Dude.
Oh, just stay here this period. Just
Yeah,
relax.
exactly.
Oh, I shared this maybe like a week ago. I would say, "Hey, I have a stomach ache. Can I just lay down for a bit?" And I would just take a
Yeah,
in the nurse's office. because it's the
It's
cleanest.
private.
Yeah, no one uses those.
You're there with
uh,
like a newspaper.
Yeah.
no one uses the bathroom.
I almost thought like me in the school, I was like, this is overkill. Like this kid just scraped his knee.
Yeah.
And be like, it's fine, we're covered up, you know?
Yeah.
But then they don't feel well.
Yeah.
I gotta call the parents and be like, hey, Mrs. Smith, you know.
It's always a Miss Smith.
Yeah.
It's a
Be
common
like,
name.
hey, you know, Johnny, this is what happened. Like, what do you want to do? You want to come and pick them up?
Yeah.
You know? And then you just sit there and they would hang out in your office until the parent came.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing that was like actual maybe nursing thing close to was, you know, all the diabetic kids. I would do their counts for them and calculate their insulin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I like actual work.
Yeah, that was like probably the closest thing to a nursing part
Yeah.
of it. I was working days, nights, knock shift, and all this stuff.
And you were grinding.
I was grinding, and I was like, it's not going to work out this way.
Yeah.
Right.
So eventually, you know, I ended up reaching out. I remember meeting the director of Psych for one of the smaller hospitals in San Diego.
Yeah.
And she said something that just sat really well with us. It was like, I don't have a new grant program, but if you guys are willing to learn, I'm willing to teach you guys.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, you know, I called her up one day. I said, hey, I don't think you remember me, but I went through your hospital, you know, about 2 years ago, you know, and this is what you told us. So here's what I got. I got a job. You know, I'm making money. It's not like I'm not working, but I need more. You know, I want X, Y, and Z. I want the benefit.
Of course, yeah.
I want the pay time off. You know? I want the stable hours.
Yeah.
She's like, well, yeah, you know, as our company, we could provide that for you. And I was like, I told her, I was like, I know nothing about psych. But you said yourself, you're willing to teach us.
Yeah.
So she said, you know, come on in, we'll talk. So we did the whole thing informal. It became an interview.
Like she hung up the phone. She's like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. She brought in her
Someone was listening.
she brought in her right hand person, and that person talked to me as well. And you know, I left. I was like, I don't even know how this went. I was like, did I do well or did I not?
You're like,
And I feel like even before I got home, I got a call back and you're like, hey, we'd like to extend an offer for you.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Same day.
Yeah. And that was the start of it, you know? And the funny thing is, you think about it, this is way back when. Can't believe my first nursing job, I was getting paid like $28.
Wow, that's pretty good. What year was this? You remember?
2011-ish.
Damn, that was pretty
yeah,
good.
that's really good,
Yeah.
See, it sounds good now, but where I'm at now.
Where's
like,
that at now? I mean, where is the same job now today?
I think our new grads
like
now,
double
where we
that.
are, they start in the high 30s.
Okay, I can see that.
40,
Yeah.
almost 40 around there.
Double that. That's a lot.
I was like, double that.
Yeah.
See that?
It
Add
wins.
another zero.
That's how I landed in psych.
Yeah.
So needless to say is I never wanted to do psych. And I jumped in and I was just like.
Psyched about it.
I was
Yeah,
like,
you were
I was psyched about it. And
There it is.
had no idea.
Yeah.
There's multiple places you can work in, you know, in San Diego. I just went into one of them. I didn't even know. And I signed up for the highest level of acuity.
Oh, definitely.
I dove in.
Like a super cutie.
Like super cute.
They can't all be winners. It's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
certified, yeah.
Note to self: edit this part out.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, this is
Are you able to share like one of the craziest moments in your?
I probably could. I got to keep it very vague, but
Yeah.
I've seen a person full on paranoid, psychotic.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Psychosis episode.
Yeah. And
Yep.
my first psych job, we were actually on the 3rd floor of a building.
Mm-hmm.
This dude ran down maybe a hallway that was, how many feet was it?
Pretty long though.
We'll
right?
just say like
let's say it's 100 feet.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, 100.
Oh, wow.
It was a long ways though.
So you
Yeah,
doubled
because it had 15 rooms.
Okay.
So it was pretty long. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
just a straight
Okay.
hallway.
Yeah.
So
And I
he
remember
ran.
this guy, he was just, you know, he was so paranoid and scared in his own mind,
Oh man.
regardless of how good we tried to,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
to reality check with him and let him
Yeah.
know that he was safe. No, he wasn't about it.
Mm-hmm.
And he just full speed ran. And granted, our windows are protected, like
Yeah.
they're reinforced.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
tried
got like
to-
those like
he
metal
tried to
screens
dive.
through it.
He tried to drive straight through that window. He just bounced off.
Oh, wow.
shoot.
He bounced off. He stumbled backwards, fell back, and just slammed his head on the ground and split it.
Dang.
Oh.
Yeah, we had to send that dude out. Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course.
It's just wild. Yeah. I've seen things like that.
Did
I've seen a
he,
lot of things. Yeah.
did he live though?
Yeah, he lived.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good end.
Yeah.
What advice would you give someone looking to jump into the same field as you?
I don't know necessarily if I would ever encourage someone unless, you know, I knew them enough to be like, you would probably be good at this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, I don't think psych is one of those things where you can teach it to someone.
Yeah.
It's one of those things like it's a skill you
Yeah.
kind of just already have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you already have the skill, it's great, but you can also improve on it.
Yeah.
But I don't think someone can be taught it and can just like fully embrace it.
Yeah.
They'll be able to do the job. I just don't know if they'll enjoy it or
Oh yeah.
find the enjoyment in it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
There's a lot of situations where, you know, you'd be scared.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
because it's things that you don't experience. Like
Yeah, you ever been like out in a public place, you see the person who's in the middle of the street doing something,
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
and they
yeah.
try to talk to you, right?
Yeah.
So it depends on the type of person you are. Are you the person that says, you know what, I'm going to stop and try to help them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, what's wrong with that guy? And you
Yeah.
just try to avoid him.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, we saw that one time we went to Earl's Sandwiches, remember?
Oh yeah.
There was a guy that he was doing this, like talking to himself,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and then he goes into the trash can,
Yeah.
and he just grabs like this half drink
Yeah,
of Starbucks.
Starbucks.
You remember
Oh.
that? Yeah, and then he takes the lid off and he drinks it, and then he throws it on the street, and we're like, "I just came here for a turkey sandwich."
Taking a bite.
Damn. That's wild.
And
moment.
imagine my first psych job being on a floor with 31 up to 31 patients.
That's challenging.
and it could be a mix of anything. Someone
Yeah.
coming off of meth,
Yeah.
you know, someone with full blown psychosis,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you know that I feel like that wasn't the perfect situation, but sometimes the person who was just depressed and suicidal because of, you know, hard times in their life,
Yeah.
the system's not created perfect where we can provide, separated. No, we try our best.
Yeah.
Right.
But, sometimes it gets so impacted where you might end up next to the person who is experiencing a different, type of thing going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's one of those things. What type of advice, I feel like anyone working in psych, they probably knew.
Yeah.
Or maybe they grew up, they knew someone in their family, their friends.
Some experience that relates back to them.
That was something that was always in my mind that I never knew.
Yeah.
But, like we talked about yesterday, my family and things like that. And it turned out something I was doing my whole life.
Yeah.
And now I was able to turn it into something I do for work.
Nice.
But, my first couple months working in psych, it was tough. I sat there, I said, what am I doing? I don't know if I did the right decision. I need to go back to working with the kids.
Yeah.
Right.
You meet some people that are really nice, patients who are really nice and appreciative of the help. And there's the ones that absolutely don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was on the highest acuity. I was working with people who probably should be just declared criminally insane.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah.
Working with sociopathic people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wow, what is this, right?
Where they see like a different reality, right?
Yeah.
Or they hear things that you don't hear.
Exactly. And
Mm-hmm.
at first I was like, I was questioning myself. I think I made the wrong decision.
Yeah.
And then finally it clicked, and I was like, when I started making those connections, it was meaningful.
Yeah.
And when I started breaking through, like the person who came in, cursing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
F you, I
Uh-huh.
want nothing to do with you, to it turning into, hey, thanks, you were there,
Yeah.
when I was at my lowest.
Yeah.
And they're leaving, and you see them being normal again, and
Yeah.
you're ready to take on life, and you're just like, wow, okay.
You did that.
I feel like it made a difference.
Yeah.
And then you get your repeat people who,
Oh, definitely.
Welcome back, Jimmy. Let's go.
You know the drill.
things, right? People deal with like seasonal depression.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Every year there's something that triggers them to remember something. And
Holidays.
They just need that extra help, and they want to come back. And they walk through those doors, and they remember you, and they go, hey, you've always been, X, Y, Z, nice to me.
Yeah.
You were there for me when I came in. And that's the things that really make it full circle. And you're like, I'm doing the right thing now.
Would you say on the other side, on the lighter side, right? At the end of the day, it's kind of entertaining too. Just different stories.
I'll be honest,
just to be honest, yeah.
Yeah.
So
When
you're
I first started, I was young.
Yeah.
Right.
And, I was probably still immature. I was in that thing of where I'm trying to figure out who I was too.
Right.
Yeah.
And seeing those things, it's just like, wow, like they say, some people say off the wall things, and how you respond to it
Yeah.
can make the difference on
Yeah.
how they're going to react.
Yeah.
But I felt like I was I've reached a point where I'm so confident in my thing where I know if I could laugh
Yeah.
with them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's always the
Be
key.
yourself, right?
Yeah.
He was such a friendly guy. On top of that, I'm going to say he probably had some kind of developmental
Yeah.
disability and things like that. But I knew him for years, and I just remember him standing right at our nursing station. Granted, we're in like a fishbowl, right? It's like protected windows.
Of course. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't just jump in. And
Right.
Yeah.
I'm working with, one of my coworkers at the time who was probably pretty crucial in the beginning of my career because he was already there. And he was a retired Navy guy.
Oh.
And I feel like I
okay.
related because I was like, he's similar to my dad.
Yeah.
Asian.
He's your work dad.
Was he older too?
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
see, it's your work dad, dude.
Yeah. And it's just, I don't know why this story popped into my head, but it's such a good story. He was sitting there doing charting, and this patient, hilarious guy, dude, walks up to the window, and he's like looking at him, starts laughing.
Yeah.
Like laughing his head off. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're like,
Wait, like how again?
like,
Like like a Joker kind of laugh.
Yeah,
Or-
like
okay.
a scary thing. We're like, why is he laughing?
Yeah.
And this military dude goes, hey, what's so funny? He goes, you dye your hair. And it was like funny, right? Because,
Yeah.
he's like one of those like salt and pepper gray.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I don't know if it was by choice. I never asked him, but I feel like they got the wrong box and his hair was too red. And he's a
Yeah.
Filipino.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
So his hair's supposed to be like black.
Yeah.
Like ours.
Oh shoot!
And he's like laughing.
It was like
He
Auburn.
He goes, you dyed your hair. He keeps on laughing, right? And
Yeah.
out of nowhere, his face just goes straight. He goes, I got a chainsaw. And I was
What?
just
Wait,
like,
what?
Whoa. What is going on?
Hang a left there, you know?
Yeah. It's just like, sometimes a person who's experiencing these things, they respond out of the the societal norms,
Mm-hmm.
maybe extremes and
Yeah.
lows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you see that. And, over the years, I've got really good. I can poker face in.
Yeah.
They could say the funniest thing, and I'll just straight face, and I won't bring it up till later.
Yeah.
So you got pretty good, like holding it in
hard,
there.
dude.
Yeah.
That's like hearing somebody fart and not laughing.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to commend you and give you your flowers because it takes a lot of patience to do all of that too,
Yeah.
and a lot of discipline not to
Sure.
to be unprofessional. In
Yeah.
a way.
Yeah, and what is great is, my current company, I've been with them for about 10 years now.
Yeah.
They're very good at that, And sometimes you look at it, like when they try to praise people, and stuff like that, it almost seems cheesy, right? Because they
Yeah.
follow scripts. They have certain ways they need to say things
Yeah.
to keep it, appropriate and things like that. And
Yeah.
and
Protocol. Yeah.
it's protocol,
Yeah.
right? But the reality of it is, like, when you think about it, it's like, I don't care how cheesy it is. They took the time
Oh yeah.
to point out something that, a person in our company has done well and things like that. And,
Yeah.
they even do the part in the check-in, like, hey, I heard, and my manager's not there on the weekend.
Yeah.
But she'll check in if she heard there was something that went on during the weekend.
Yeah.
She'll come by face to face and be like, just want to check in with you and make sure everything's all right.
Nice.
I'm just like reflecting back on when we used to hang out back in high school to now. There's a lot of just in these conversations, there's a lot of growth that I see. Because I remember back when we were in high school, whenever there was a joke or something funny, you'd be like, ha, and then you'd always just point, right? And then now it's like, it's a calmer demeanor and when to,
Yeah, it's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
I like how you bring out the high school thing. Yeah, we went to high school together and, it's a great thing. I wanted to plug this in now. I know it's really weird.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
But it's just great to see, like, I've seen you through the generations and, different parts of our lives. High school, we had no care in our life. We
Yeah.
were
Sure.
having fun.
Yeah.
We were doing weird things and things like that.
Yeah.
Now look at us now.
Yeah.
Right?
Who would have thought, right?
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Who'd have thought?
Share the trials and tribulations of trying to buy a house in these in this kind of market,
That's what we're talking about now, right?
Right, yeah.
Renovations and all this stuff, houses and the market. That was a different conversation back then.
Coming out here, for the Brewing podcast, it was one of those things. Would you give me like a month notice?
Yeah, month notice.
Out of nowhere, you're like, hey, we're doing this. Hey, would you guys want to go? And I was like, out of nowhere. I was like,
Yeah.
You didn't even ask me to be on the pod. You just asked if I wanted to go.
Yeah.
And I just said, you know what? If I can get those days off, I'm in.
Dude, yeah, that surprised me
This
too.
goes into my thing. So,
Slam dunk, baby.
me working as a psych nurse in behavioral health, I'm a big advocate for your own
Mental health.
self-help.
Yeah,
mental health.
right. Yeah.
Self-care.
Self-care.
When you presented it to me and you said you can go out there and, I was like, even if they're doing their own thing, just me to be out there,
Yeah.
out of my own normal day-to-day living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, just in case you guys don't know, I have, my wife and I, we have 2 kids.
Yeah.
We were able to, thanks to the grandparents, we were able to leave them behind, let them do their thing. And I'm out here. I'm not here to do work. I'm not here to be chasing my kid and, doing my things with them. Not saying that's not great stuff.
But you need a little bit of
Going-
research.
Yeah.
Right?
You need some space,
Yeah,
right?
but going into the mental health thing is just like, sometimes I'm a big advocate as a person, you need to take your own time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to have your me time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I looked at this as that outlet.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna come here, whatever they want to do. Come to find out, Jason or Vice, or whatever you call yourself on the show.
Right.
I just learned this dude is a planner. Like this is the point where like I don't when I go on a vacation, I plan out like where we're gonna go. I have some ideas, but I don't come with an itinerary.
Yeah.
Get alone this dude. He's typing it out, an Excel spreadsheet and all this stuff. It's so organized. I was like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
I didn't expect
Not me.
that. This whole setup, he brought the whole setup out here, 3 hours away from where we live. And I would like to say, I don't think you forgot anything. Yes, we're holding the mics, but this was a choice he made. He said, I like the feeling. I'm going to hold the mics.
Yeah.
I don't want the.
I want the aesthetics of the all of
Yeah.
this. This is a cool setting. The guitars, all of this stuff.
It's amazing.
I don't want like arms to be blocking it.
Yeah. And I've been holding to say that. I didn't want to say it last night because I wanted to save it till now.
Oh wow. Okay.
I wanted to commend you on how you did it. Like
Thank
I was
you.
telling my wife on the way, I was like, I'm almost worried that I'm gonna like let him down because I'm gonna feel bad if like because I'm not a morning person.
Yeah.
When you told me you want to film this episode in the morning, I was
Yeah,
like,
this is like 10 right
Yeah,
now?
this guy's not a morning person.
Well, not after last night. So.
yeah.
Ooh.
But so far since we've been out here, this is going on to our first full day we're here.
Oh,
We
this
got here-
is.
We got here yesterday around
Like 4.
2-3 o'clock.
Oh, 3, yeah.
Three,
we came
yeah.
early.
I'm probably the one that's been enjoying the the amenities here the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were in the jacuzzi.
Yeah.
We haven't got there yet, but we took advantage of the pool.
The
though.
pool,
Yeah,
yeah.
The pool, yeah.
Pool's nice.
Yeah.
Just to give it some perspective, it's about 95 degrees out here right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
So we
hot.
had to wait. We had to wait until what, about 5:30, 6 o'clock to
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
into the pool.
Yeah.
They all got out of the pool getting ready for dinner.
Yeah.
And they're all setting up. I'm in the jacuzzi.
Well, it's an easy dinner too. It's Korean barbecue. You just throw it on the grill.
Is.
You know?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
But I was like,
Hey, but you came through a chef though.
Yeah,
you were grilling it up.
You balance it. You balance it. It's cool.
But everything we did, we did Korean barbecue last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We still have a lot of meat, dude. I thought we were gonna finish it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and this guy he made the grocery list.
Yeah.
And now that we're here, I'm realizing, I've always been the type. I'll be like, I'll show up there. If anything's missing, I'll go drive to the store.
Yeah.
And right now, I don't think I need to drive to the store.
I don't think so.
I think we're covered.
Yeah, we're covered.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We could probably be
like-
here for like a month. We're covered.
And I'm like,
Not the way Brian eats.
Hey. I'm a growing boy.
I'm a real boy.
Yeah. Also, the thing we didn't leave is because of the rocks on the way here.
Oh yeah, the rocks.
Oh,
The
dude.
rocks.
yeah, there's like a mile
road.
off-roading to get to this place.
Yeah.
Thank
It's
you.
very bumpy.
We had two SUV cars, then Brian had his.
Yeah. I had my Corolla.
But
Still made it.
Yeah.
But that whole thing, I'm like,
I was
wow.
passenger seat prey. Like,
Thanks,
Shut up, Art.
it's like one, thanks for having
Did
me
you
on
die?
Yeah, thanks for having me on the pod.
for sure.
Two, thanks for having me out here.
Yeah.
This is probably like the least planned vacation I've had to do. I just,
Wow. In a while?
I've been out to Joshua Tree. I've been out to
Yeah.
Palm Springs. I've done all those things.
But you have to
Yeah.
plan this stuff.
But this is like, I just showed up and everything's here.
Yeah.
All you got to do is show
I
up,
mean,
man.
I had to drive and carry some stuff, but it's
That's
I
it.
didn't-
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
go to the store and buy them. This guy went to
Yeah.
whatever 3, 4, 5 stores and got
I
everything.
know. That's wild.
And all he
bro.
said was, "Hey, here's the breakdown. Just
Pay me.
kick
Yeah.
it back." And then,
Yeah.
okay. And I was like, going forward, if this has ever asked me to go somewhere again, I'll be like, I'm in.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. And like one of the big reasons why I asked you, because you've been a great support to this podcast. Outside, like you're always hitting me up, always commenting, always sharing these stories. I feel like a lot of the testimonials is from Bo.
Bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like I wanted to invite you to just be on this trip, and then I was like, you know what? Let's get Bo on this podcast, because originally we're supposed to do one episode, right? And then Brian goes, let's do another episode. We might as well just do 2. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, cool, because I didn't want to.
Maximize, right?
I didn't want to. I didn't want to press the podcast and I like just have fun, but we're gonna do that regardless.
Yeah.
It's a even balance.
Yeah.
Bo, so I hear you are BMW Enthusiast.
Yeah.
Up top, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
BMW.
Just so you guys know, Art and I actually have, for the BMW people to know, we both have ZHPs.
Hey.
Oh, what's that? Or Brian, tell us what it is. Brian always knows.
Brian, tell us what
Yeah,
a
go ahead.
ZHP is.
Where's the cricket?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh, go ahead. What is
We
it?
won't get too nerdy into it, but it's a very well recognized. You know how BMWs now, you see all these, there's always been the M3,
Yeah.
but now you have these M340.
Okay.
They're like baby M's, I guess.
BBM.
The ZHP was pretty much the birth of like that before it
Yeah.
existed. They took a regular 3 Series, they beefed it up, but they didn't make it the M3, but they beefed up the regular one.
Yeah.
That's kind of in a nutshell. How
Yeah.
but make it simple.
It's like a plus version,
Yeah. So, how did you get into it? Like, what year was this? Was this during high school? I think you drove a
Yeah.
Beamer during high school,
So,
right?
don't judge me. My first car,
Yeah.
high school, 16 years old, was BMW.
Yeah.
Hey,
Can you give
well,
us
let's
a
be-
model, make, year?
Yeah. Let's be
know.
honest though. I started driving in like 2002,
Two, probably.
Yeah.
2001,
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
somewhere around there when I was 16.
Sophomore, junior year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by that time my car was 1993. So
Okay.
let's be real.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was already 10 years old.
Yeah.
It's deserved.
Yeah. But it still was a BMW. And, that was actually a hand-me-down.
Yeah. Oh, from who? Your dad owned that?
Yeah, that was my dad's car.
Okay.
Kind of interesting. We could have been a Toyota family, but
Yeah.
somewhere along the line it changed. My dad, Navy guy when he was young. And it's funny, when we were kids and we were small, he actually had a Turbo Supra.
Oh, wow. What year?
dude.
Yeah.
89, 90, around
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
shoot,
wow.
that's
Nice.
Classic
Supra.
That's like
Twin
the
turbo Supra. Yeah.
3, right?
Man, yeah. And, when the car that I drove in high school, they decided to buy it.
Yeah.
He was either buy a fully loaded Camry,
Uh-huh.
that would have made us the Toyota family,
Yeah.
or buy a base model 3 Series.
Okay.
And they went with the base model 3 Series, and
Nice.
that's all she wrote.
Yep.
From that point on,
Yeah.
BMW family,
Done.
What color was it?
black.
Black.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was poverty spec.
Poverty spec.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Base model.
Base model,
Base,
yeah.
base model, not real leather.
The seats were manual.
manual.
You gotta scoot yourself.
You look at manual now, and you're like, manual's cool, right? But
Yeah.
manual, it was cheaper because
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
the car was
Yeah.
cheaper because it
Yeah.
was manual. It's not like that nowadays, but
No, there's less manual cars nowadays.
yeah. And,
Yeah.
a lot of things. Growing up, I don't know if your parents were like that. My dad, how do you save money? You work on the car yourself.
Oh,
And I remember being a kid and working with my dad, and it
he was a handyman.
My dad finished when he finished the Navy. He went back in as an aircraft mechanic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Simplified
Okay.
like
Oh
that.
shoot.
So he's very mechanical in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in his sense is everyone's all BMW is really expensive.
Yeah.
But he taught me how to do it myself.
Yeah.
And I just remember being a kid, I hated it because I didn't know what I was doing. And he'd get so mad.
Yeah.
He'd be so disappointed with me. And it was the toughest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as I got
Been there.
older and I started, paying for everything myself,
Yeah.
I was so thankful because now I do everything. I do all the maintenance myself.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not really necessary. I don't want to put it as like, oh, I can't afford to do it myself.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but it means something to me. I told you guys, me time is important. Me being able to do my own things like that is like an accomplishment, and
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know, machoism, if
Mm-hmm.
you will. It makes me feel like I have some control in my own abilities, and it's something that's completely different from my normal day-to-day task.
Yeah.
And it's turned into this whole thing. I like to put it as a BMW enthusiast. Is during our time, the early 2000s, that's what Fast and Furious came out.
Yeah.
Street racing. I mean, street racing.
yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Let's be real. It's not the best part of my life, but
That's-
street racing was a big thing. Sorry if my parents hear this now and they've never heard of this,
That's
but
what I'm into.
it ties into the whole thing of like I used to hang out with my brother. My brother's older than me,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
used to hang out at the street races.
Hot import night.
Yeah, hot important night days. And in the middle of the night, we would be hanging out.
Yeah.
It's illegal, but we're doing it. I'm not going to say we weren't, but we were. And I remember times where I was underage and things getting stopped by cops. I'm not about takeovers, whatever they do nowadays. That stuff is.
Oh yeah.
We took off the side roads where they were racing. We would watch, and I remember cops just coming in hot, and many times they would just leave me behind. They'd be like, just hide in the bushes. We'll come back and get you.
Oh,
What the heck?
Because you get pulled over, you have an underage person.
Oh,
Oh, that's,
Yeah,
that's
it's worse.
That's worse.
yeah, it's worse.
Yeah.
And I would just hide out, and I would be, I'd be in Sereno in the business park just hiding for like an hour, and they would come back to me.
Yeah.
And that was a better time.
Yeah.
I remember also jumping in random people's cars because we knew we were going to be at the next spot.
Yeah.
Right.
But anyway, that's not the best part. We'll just keep that at the side.
Right.
But going to the BMW Enthusiast thing is, in high school, I felt like cars were a status thing.
Yeah.
For sure.
Especially at
Still
my
are.
high school.
Especially the Beamer. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it made me interesting to some people.
Yeah. Definitely.
My dad was one of those. Why are you doing that? You're gonna make it worse. The car's gonna break. Don't race it. It was always like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And finally, fast forward, and here we are. I'm, independent with my finances, and I can afford to do this stuff. And I still, even though I can pay for it, nowadays I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I bring my dad along and say, "Hey, you want to work on it with me?"
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's turned into this whole thing of like, this is the time my dad and I get to spend together,
Right.
where we're not, talking about all these things. Well, I mean, we still talk about stuff, but we're trying to figure out a problem together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we come to a conclusion, we fix things.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I finally, recently in the past couple of years, I've decided, I've always wanted to race like legally and
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
take it off the streets. Now here I am. I started out doing autocross. For those of you who don't know, autocross is, kind of cone racing between cones in an open lot.
Okay.
Safe, controlled. It's a good way for people to understand their own car and what it's capable of.
Yeah.
And I told my dad, you know what? I think I'm going to do it. And of course, he gave me the, why are you going to do that? You're going to break it.
Yeah.
And I said,
I know my car.
Yeah.
I said, Dad, you know what? We've spent so many years doing all this work.
Yeah.
He didn't stop me from buying aftermarket parts.
Uh-huh.
And I said, I want you to see why I've done these things.
Yeah.
So I started doing it. He came out to me.
Nice.
He came out with me for like my first autocross just to watch, and
That's
I said,
cool.
you know, and he was there.
Yeah.
I asked him. I said, "You want to drive it too? You helped me build this.
Yeah.
You want to drive it too?"
Yeah.
And he's
You
like,
have to wear a
"No."
helmet in those
Yeah,
things,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
That's cool.
And that brings it to the whole enthusiast thing. I like to, you know, I don't want to identify myself as just a BMW person, but it is a kind of a big me time thing right now
Oh,
that I
yeah.
got
Yeah.
going on in my life. And
Yeah.
actually, you know, it connected me again with one of my, you know, our friend,
Yeah.
Ramen.
Shout out to Ramen.
Oh.
Shout out Ron Bomb Burgers.
Ron Bomb
you know?
Burgers. Yes.
You know, he's got his thing going on, and you know, I found out, you know, he doesn't have a BMW. He's got an S2000 Honda.
Mhm. He's always been on that
SDK.
Honda.
But actually, you know,
Yeah.
we're both a part of the same club. You know, the BMW Car Club of America, but the San Diego chapter.
Yeah,
Just because
that's cool.
they're you know they're all inclusive. You don't have to have a BMW.
Damn,
how can I
join?
Yeah, just come out and it's
Yeah,
funny.
You should join.
You know,
go for it, Art.
our first event together. I stood there. I talked to Mom and I said, you know what? Look at us now.
Yeah.
We were the
Who would
kids.
have thought?
Yeah, who would have thought we were?
No, it
you know,
was. Yeah.
I said we were the kids back in you know when we were young, riding our bicycles together in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know, when kids used to do that stuff.
Yeah, dude. Shoot.
We used to do that. And I like these are our bicycles now.
Yeah.
You know, and of
2 more
course,
wheels.
you know, and we have our, you know, we have our friendly friendly competition with each other.
Yeah.
Our first event, you know, he was a couple seconds faster than me, and I was like, nah, it's because he got S2000. I'm driving like a, you know, I'm driving a sedan family car. That's why. And then, you know, our next event, I'm faster now.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
You know,
It's the driver.
Hear that?
It's just-
S2K
it's a good
fans.
and he comes out, I come out. We got no kids, you
Yeah.
know, and it's just us.
Yeah.
You know, he's got his own kids, he's got his own business he's doing, and during that time, it's just us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, us, the car, the cones, and, you know,
And the road.
yeah, and the road.
And for those 10 seconds or less,
Yeah, that's us.
free.
Yeah,
Shout out.
it's a great
Vin
thing.
Diesel.
And, you
Fast
know,
and Furious. Right off into the sun.
yeah. And like,
you again.
R.I.P. to my boy Paul.
Wait, your cousin Paul or?
Paul Walker guy.
Paul Walker.
Okay, Paul Walker.
Which brings in the story. Movie my wife and I first watched. Paul Walker. Joyride.
What? When you guys were dating?
What was
Yeah.
it? Which one?
Nice.
Joyride.
Joyride? Oh, shit. Joyride.
Hey.
I thought you were about to say Meet the Needles.
Wait, that was the first movie you guys watched?
That's
were, you
memorable. Yeah, that.
were you official at the time? Now we're getting into your.
This was the official. This was the official. We were
Yeah.
getting into dating.
Okay.
Okay.
We had watched movies before as a group of friends and things like that.
Yeah.
I think. Did you come with us when we wanted to watch Vin Diesel X?
Vin Diesel X.
Oh, yeah.
Triple X.
Yeah,
X
we
or
went to
triple
watch that
X?
too.
Triple X.
Yeah, Triple X.
Interesting. Yeah. Now I think about it, a lot of the first movies we had, all from the Fast family.
Yeah.
He's like, what?
Hey, don't judge me. Very. They got a lot of cheesy lines, but I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
There's like 10 of those movies now,
Like
right?
nobody
I think
likes
it
a
is.
tuna here.
No one. No one.
Our favorite line.
And then I took her to that little restaurant with the little red cherry thing.
Oh, Jack in the
Cha
Box?
cha 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 cha.
Cha 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 cha.
See, thank you.
Wait, Cha Cha Cha.
Well, you could take me there.
So, I mean, let's segue then. Let's segue.
Huh?
How did you meet your wife? Now that we're talking about it.
So we'll do it this way. Your wife
Okay.
has a brother.
Has a brother. Okay. Marvin.
Yeah, Marvin. Shout out to
In
Marvin.
case you
Yeah.
didn't know.
So,
In case you didn't.
Marvin, you know, he's about a little older than my brother.
Yeah.
And my brother was friends with him.
Yeah. Okay.
And as a kid, you know, even before I was 18, my parents, I was not allowed to go out unless I was with him.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
that's usually for the older kids. That's how it
Little
works.
did I know that backfired on them because here I am hanging out at the street races.
Yeah.
So,
Good influence.
Yeah. There's many times, you know, they were the guys, you know, they were all doing their thing and somehow connected with Christine.
Yeah.
That's where we had first met, you know, my early teens.
Early teens.
Early teens.
Till now, 24 years. Huh?
Yeah.
And not too much story, you know, we tried to date or whatever. We tried to work something out when we were younger. And
Yeah.
my brother wasn't about it. He was the protective one.
Oh, he
thinking
was?
like,
Okay.
you know, she was like a groupie just hanging out with the
Oh, damn!
and it was, you know, just to be, yeah, just to be more clear, my brother in his eyes, he was looking at it as she's in the older side, more towards their age.
Okay. Well, she's only like 1 year older though, right?
Yeah, that's the thing is we're
Okay.
only a year older, but school wise, she's 2 years older, right?
Oh, got it.
Oh,
So,
My
right.
brother was looking at it as like, who's this older person?
yeah.
Like,
Who's this school
Yeah.
groupie?
yeah. You know,
Christine's making
Yeah.
like daggers in.
and for a long time, I was actually bitter about that.
Oh, really?
I was like, if he doesn't want us to be together and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
whatever happened, it didn't work out. But
Okay.
a couple years later, we came across again,
Yeah.
and
Nice.
the rest is history. That's how
Rest
we're
is
still
history.
here together.
2 boys later.
Yeah, 2 boys later.
Shoot. Corey and Topanga.
But yeah, Corey and Topanga. Yeah.
Boy Meets World, for those who don't know.
Let's segue to some random fun.
All right.
We play games on the show such as this or that. Would you rather? Name your price. One must go. Pick your poison. Most likely 2. This episode, we're playing Interesting Thoughts.
Interesting thoughts.
So how we're gonna play is I'm gonna have a series of questions.
Interesting
Our guest always goes first.
Is this thoughts normal spelling?
Like
or
THOTS? Because
Normal spelling. Normal spelling.
Okay.
Not the slang spelling.
the stories could be a little different depending on what thoughts you're talking
Yeah.
about.
So I mean, I know Bo's in Psych. So
Yeah.
Interesting Thoughts, right?
Okay.
What's your personal key to happiness?
My personal key to happiness.
A loaded question, man.
Yeah, that's so deep.
You better start thinking of yours. Yeah,
Are we starting off with me?
start off.
Guess
with you.
always starts first.
Yeah.
I'm open.
Okay.
You know, just like I pointed out, you planned this out so well. Me, I could have winged it.
Yeah.
I would have been happy. I feel like if I made an itinerary like that and I didn't meet the expectations of it, I'd feel like I failed in a sense. You know, but key to happiness right now, everything's always changing. You know,
Yeah.
one of my things is I'm here supporting my wife, who's she has her real career, her
Yeah.
science career, which is great and all. But this one is her personal thing of the foodie Instagram.
Yeah.
It's fun. I like being there side by side.
And the food.
Yeah.
You know what? The food is a great thing.
Yeah,
You know,
Oh,
they-
yeah, definitely.
They always ask you, ever get bored of it? I'm like, no. You know what? It makes it really fun. Is we've turned it into we go to these places we would have never went to.
True.
Yeah.
There's foods like I'm never gonna go to this neighborhood to eat there,
Yeah.
but we go,
Yeah.
and it turns in this is our time. We're able to have like one of these like it's planned. Sure, we know we're gonna go there, but it's like a date,
Yeah.
and we get
Nice.
to sit there and we get to judge the food. And
Yeah.
granted, she never does any reviews or judging the food. She's a content creator.
Yeah.
She's just there to make the food look good.
Shout out to what's her page?
Dining with Christine.
Dining with Christine.
So thanks to that, it especially more recently in the past couple of years or the past 2 years, it's been like that.
Yeah.
Every day off I have from work, and the kids aren't doing any of their sports.
Yeah. That's fun.
We get to go to have a nice date.
Yeah.
So that's the key to happiness right now.
Nice.
And on top of that is having that kid who, our oldest kid is in a little league,
Yeah.
and
Nice.
Dude, your oldest kid is the funniest kid.
he is. He's,
Little knucklehead.
but what brings happiness out of it is like I feel like my parents didn't do those same things with us,
yeah.
and granted they worked with what they had.
Yeah, exactly.
It's different now.
Like a
They-
chanelas or a belt or something.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how times were back then.
Yeah.
Nowadays, we're both granted we're blessed and lucky enough to be able to provide the way we provide. So I don't want to hold back and not let my kid try out sports.
Yeah.
I only did one sport, soccer.
Did he ask for it? Like, how did he get into baseball?
His friends, it's
Okay.
based on friends.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
They do that, and the parents talk, and they're like, "Hey, my kid's doing this. Does your kid want to do it?"
Yeah.
So we did the soccer, we did the basketball.
Nice.
Oh,
And-
nice.
Yeah, and I think the hard thing is my kids are on the smaller size, or at least my older kid's on the smaller size.
Yeah.
Oh, compared
It's
to
like-
all the other kids?
Yeah, he's like the shortest in his class. and,
Fastest then, right?
like-
That's sigh.
The regret.
It's funny, my father-in-law, he makes fun of the way my kid runs. There's a
Wait, what the heck?
Really?
yeah, because he's doing baseball right now. He's really into
Okay.
it. Right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have like the sprint.
Yeah.
Like there's this I can't even think of the name right now. Do we know the name?
Tommy Lasorda.
There you go. So if you have a chance, go on YouTube, look at that guy,
Wait, say it again.
Tommy
Lasorda?
Lasorda.
Tommy
Okay.
Lasorda.
Is it Lasorda? Yeah.
So
he
your
runs
kid
and he's
ride
just like, yeah, he's just got like an old man run.
Oh,
Old
an
man
old man
run.
run.
Oh, shoot.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
But it's like the interesting thing. So I'm like, we're invested, right?
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
cool.
just like you get some joy out of it, doing the baseball thing.
Yeah.
And we get joy out of it. Like, I'm not the biggest baseball fan, but now here I am watching baseball because, I want him to, be able to watch it and make himself better in his sport.
Oh, definitely.
What
Yeah.
was the question?
What's your personal key to happiness?
Oh, well, first of all, who says I'm happy? No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa, damn, your face.
We went dark here.
Do you want to talk
Just
about?
kidding.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it, Art?
No, that's with his therapist on Thursdays.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with the like it's like a self thing, right? I don't know. It's not like I think I have to be like really honest with like what I want to do, and I feel like that's what makes me happy. Like if I don't want to see anybody, I won't see anybody. Like I have to not expect that I have to do things for people to make people happy to make me happy. You know what I mean? Like now I feel like it's more of an individual thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I don't want to answer my phone or respond to a text because I'm like, I would just rather watch E46 build videos, you know what I mean? Or like something like that, then that's what I'm going to do. And that's what's going to make me happy.
So that's why I ignore our texts when we're late.
Yeah.
We're all blowing up his phone. Like, where's Art?
Yeah.
Watching YouTube,
Yeah, just
learning how
watching
to build
Yeah, we're sitting waiting at the lunch for the meeting for this pre vacation.
Oh, yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Where's Art at?
But I actually woke up late that day. I'm sorry.
That's every day you have to have a meeting.
A key to happiness is just to be like water, be flexible,
Splash, splash.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like what? Being wet.
Being
We were
wet.
moisturized yesterday. Yeah.
wet-
Being wet is the most pleasurable. I mean, happy.
No, but it's that Bruce Lee quote. He says, "Be like water."
Yeah.
So
Oh,
like
yeah,
water.
yeah.
Yeah, water flows.
Flow.
It can change forms and all that, and to fit any situation. And for me personally, that's how I've been able to keep happy. Like if something happens, like I kind of just work my way around it. Like I won't. Yeah. Also, like if someone is like mad at you or anything like that, it's like you can choose not to engage with that, right?
Oh,
and
yeah.
have it
That's
affect you,
really good.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I do that same thing of like I can control everything the way I feel.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no way to control what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Or how
Yeah.
you're going to feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then if I set that expectation now,
Yeah.
that makes it all easy, right? That's like
Right.
being like water. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
good, really good one.
Because then, like, if you're setting these expectations, you're becoming more rigid, and then if you don't meet those expectations, you break.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So-
So why does this feel like that? Right? Like
Yeah.
you make it like that or whatever.
Yeah, you're like they're just like that. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. That's fine.
Yeah.
I think for me, just do what you want that makes you happy. Like without any judgment. Who cares what people think? I think one of the biggest things, especially starting this podcast, I had this one person reach out like, "Oh, I did not know you were homeless at one point because I was homeless too." And I was like, "Oh."
Dang.
Like someone that I knew like in college for the longest time shared that and reached out to me. And we talked about those things. And I said, hey, if you ever need anything in life, just like reach out. Like let's have these conversations.
That's always hard though,
Yeah. And I was like, and it's so funny because we joke around all the time. Like there's only 6 people watching it and it's us and then our wives or what, we like joke about it, but you never know who's listening on the other end that it could be impactful for their life.
Right.
And I was glad to have just that one moment, but I feel like we have these several moments that we can't think of, but in those moments we're like, you never knew how impactful this kind of work can be, right?
Right.
Next question for Bo. If you had to name one thing that really makes your day, what would it be?
One thing that really makes your day.
Like a morning poop or
That could be yours, man. Is that what you want to use for yours?
sure.
I'm gonna use what's going on right now.
Okay.
My youngest kid, he's 3 years old. This makes my day every day. He'll wake up in the morning, he'll be walking around the house, and he needs to say good morning to everybody.
Wow, that's cool.
And he's got like this weird like cartoon voice right now. It's like,
What?
Good morning, Dad. I'll be half asleep in the bed.
Yeah.
And
If he's like
he'll say
captions
he'll
in
keep on saying
sing-songy
it.
voice.
He'll keep on saying good morning, Dad. Good morning, Dad
Until you wake up.
until I open my eye and say good morning, Dad.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's so cool.
It's just one of those things,
Him and his brother
cute.
share the same room?
Yeah, they're into their own room, which is great.
Like bunk beds or something?
Hey, at least they're away from us.
Oh, yeah, that's cool. Away from the
I'm tired
bed,
of feet kicking me in the face.
That's so funny.
Shoot.
Father.
sweaty children next to me.
switch up.
I don't sweat, I barely sweat, and that side.
That's so cool.
That's the wife side.
Wow.
Yeah, they just get
He's
moist.
gonna choke you after this, man.
Such a gross word, moist.
Moist.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, you gotta get away. Yeah,
That's cool.
things that make our day, like
Yeah, what's one?
one
If
thing.
you had, if
When
you had to
I
name one
clock
thing.
out. No, I'm just kidding.
One thing, like on the regular, or is it like maybe I'm thinking too hard about
Yeah, you're
this?
thinking too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're a thinker, Brian. You're a
Yeah,
thinker.
that's what I do.
Slow down.
Interesting thoughts.
I like to appreciate like the little things. So
Yeah.
one thing that makes my day is if I'm driving and I have a song that comes on, the song ends as soon as I park. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just makes my day. I'm just like, oh,
It's like a real
nice.
life
Yeah.
movie soundtrack.
Yeah.
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 All right.
I can only wonder what song
good.
it is, you know?
Yeah. Making
Sometimes
my way
depends.
downtown.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
How did you know?
That's like our favorite song on the show.
We're gonna get copyright
Yeah.
strike for that.
Terry Crews is gonna come on the show.
With a whistle on the glow stick.
Oh, man, I love Terry Crews. I just watched
Yeah.
Blended.
Oh, dude, that's funny.
good.
That's
Yeah,
a
that's a
funny
good
one.
All right, Art. One thing that really makes your day, what would it be?
Oh man, I don't. I mean, I don't want to seem like
Say it.
a little softy or like a mama's boy, but
Oh,
like if I can make my mom laugh that day,
Yeah.
or like at least once, then I feel like I've done a good job that day.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
No, that's fair.
You know, that's kind of like
Yeah.
my thing.
What type of person is your mom like when she laughs? Is she like laugh out loud or?
Yeah.
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 Laugh
Yeah,
out-
like yeah, she like laughs or giggles, but then like I know if I like did something funny,
yeah.
she'll like laugh.
Like otot laugh kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it a Filipino one where they laugh so hard they hit you?
Oh yeah.
No, like she'll throw her head back or she'll like cover her face.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
like
Oh, okay, I see.
yeah.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
what's one thing you do to make your mom laugh then?
I don't know. Like sometimes I'm a little bustus child, you know what I'm saying? So, like,
Sometimes.
Whoa.
You bring this podcast rating up because of what you
I know,
say.
right?
Yeah. You bring all the bleeps up, dude.
Do you tickle her?
I don't know.
What was the last thing that made her laugh then?
I mean, I can't remember, but like,
okay.
but I don't know. I just it's one of those things. Like I don't pinpoint it. Or like you know what it is? It's some of the things where like I'll point out something that she did that was kind of like weird, right? Or when she keeps repeating herself,
Okay.
because she keeps saying the same story, and then like out of nowhere, I'll bring it up like, oh yeah, like I'll repeat the story, and she'll be like, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Like, because
okay.
it's like, okay, I get it. You're
Yeah.
kind of making funny, but it's kind of funny. 'cause
Right,
you're
right.
you know what I mean? I don't know.
Okay. That's cool. What about you, Jason?
I think for me, it's just completing tasks. I like to write lists. I think me and
makes
Nadine
sense.
talked about this
Yeah.
too, just with like communication. Like writing lists, feeling like that accomplishment when you get that list done, even if it's something small, like contact blah blah blah, complete this. You know, make sure you have a meeting with this person.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those things they talk about. Just like making your bed in the beginning of the day, just having that.
Oh yeah.
Right. They talk about like it gives you that boost. It motivates you for the day.
Right.
So I think that's me. Last question. Besides your family, who will help you no matter what?
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Okay.
Yeah, my team, my team at work.
Yeah.
You know, granted, you know, we're all working in this behavioral health psych industry, so we're all pretty good at that. And, you know, we share these experiences together,
Yeah.
and we're there for
true.
there for each other.
Yeah. Especially for like to be doing that type of work, you really, I feel like you
Yeah.
kind of have to like lean on your coworkers sometimes. Like,
And we keep it short and sweet like that.
Yeah.
So, coworkers, thanks to you.
And viewers like you.
Even though I haven't been going to work a lot,
So you're saying they're carrying you?
Yeah, they're carrying you. Their back's hurting from carrying you.
I've just been enjoying life right now. But
No,
I
that's
do
okay.
like going to work, and
Yeah.
you
yeah.
know, especially when you know the team is there.
Someone besides your direct family.
Director, yeah.
It has to
That-
be one specific person.
Yeah. We don't have. It's only an hour and a half show.
No, I mean like I can't like just group like.
Oh yeah, you can group it like Bo did,
Yeah,
right?
he did his coworkers,
Okay,
right?
never mind.
Coworkers.
Am I
Good?
listening?
Yeah.
All right, who is it, Brian?
I thought you were going.
I thought you were about to. Was it Brian's turn?
I don't know. You were talking about it, and like I thought you were going to lead into. Oh, I'm going.
So the more you guys talk, the more I got to edit.
Okay. No, it's my friends because I mean
Nice.
I've been friends with the same group of people.
Yeah.
We've just kind of added on. Like I've had good friends since like first grade,
Yeah.
sixth grade, freshman year. Like every time like you go from like a different
Elementary all the way up.
elementary, and we're still together.
Yeah, I mean, mine's kind of a mix of arts and Bo's answer. It's my friend Patrick. He besides being like a general good friend, like he helps pinch it when I can't do certain shoots, and like or if I need a second shooter, So best of both worlds. Yeah,
Nice. Yeah, you always talk about Patrick too. So shout out to Patrick.
Yeah.
If he watches this show or not. I would say, I mean, outside of my direct family, outside of my wife, of course. Beatty. Shout out to Beatty.
Nice.
Sometimes he has to push me out of the office to be like, hey, I got this. I'll cover you for the day. Don't even think about work. Like, do your admin day. Like, I have an admin day once a week. I have a new staff that came on board, and I was like, I want to be there for my staff at least for the first month before I hop out like that Wednesday to do my admin day. And sometimes he reminds me like, I got this. If you're out, I got this. I'll step in. So I appreciate you for stepping in at work.
Cool.
All right, Q&As. This portion of the podcast, so let's answer some Q&As, and this is from the community, given from our story. So this is directly to Bo.
Oh.
I'm not too sure of these names, but Richie Richard, if that sounds familiar.
Richie Rich.
So Richie Richard, who are the GT boys?
And the GT boys. So this ties into the BMW Enthusiast.
Okay,
Got it.
Nice.
Richie Richard is actually a friend I made. I had a couple cars back, which is an off the wall BMW. No one really appreciated it. This is me trying to be an adult yet still enjoy BMWs. So it was that weird crossover, not hatchback, but a wagon, not a wagon either.
yeah.
And I met him, and I feel like Richard, and my boy Scott, the three of us, we were like a big play in that part of that community.
Nice.
No one was really doing the modifications to it, and we got Scott, who lives in the OC, had a lot of connections with like Megan Racing and things like that, and he jumped in and they did the work to find out what would work out for this car that no one was wanting to work on.
That's cool.
So we're the GT boys, really.
Nice. GT boys.
And
Origin
now,
story.
And now without the cars, none of us have them anymore, and we still have our little check-ins just to see what everyone's up to.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. This is anonymous. Does having a brother help in raising two boys?
Having a brother help.
It's like
yes.
like maybe you can like understand the brother relationship with your kid.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Two boys and two boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting,
Being on the other side now.
I'm one of those things where I think like genetics is one of those things that just happen.
Uh-huh.
And then also there's like, environments that also happen.
Yeah.
Right.
But like I see a lot of similarities in my older kid with my sibling.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There's stubbornness and things like that, and detail oriented things.
Yeah.
That he has. And it's good qualities. It's just
Yeah.
like it's really interesting. So I think having a sibling does help.
Okay. This comes from Ball So Hard University.
Ooh, Balsa Hard University.
Do you know what that's referencing to? Okay.
Okay, so you know this person.
Yeah.
Balling.
So they asked, do you know anyone selling S2K parts?
S2K. I'm a BMW enthusiast. I don't mess with them Hondas.
Wrong guy.
Just kidding.
Wrong guy.
Yeah, but that actually, the community, being in a community is how I met this dude.
Okay.
Yeah, he's actually a friend of mine, a friend of a friend.
Yeah.
And he came out, he came with our club and he raced with us.
Yeah.
That he enjoyed it so much, he went out and got an S2000. I don't know if that's something, I don't know enough if that's something he wanted or if it's because he met Ramen who had one.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's just like, we're a mix of Hondas and,
Yeah.
and which, shout out to you.
Little East meets West.
Ball So Hard University. Hopefully we'll see you at one of the next events and we'll see how you do now that you got your own car instead of using one of ours.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, this next one comes from Afantanilla.
Okay.
How do you say that, bro?
Fentanilla?
Afantanilla?
Oh, Fontanilla.
Oh, Fontanilla.
Oh, Nia. Okay.
A is the first
Got
name.
it. Oh,
Fontanilla.
it says, when time to replace E46? List your top 3 options in priority.
Oh, man. I'm going to be cliche with this, It's always a joke. The BMW guys, what do you go to next? someday I'm gonna have a 911.
Oh wow.
Porsche 911. It only seems right.
All right.
Unless finances don't work out, I'm gonna buy some old BMW. I'm gonna go classic.
Okay.
As I got older, I don't appreciate the newer things as much. I do have a new M3 now. But I feel like I want to go classic. I want one of those things where people look at it and they know.
Yeah.
Like I'm serious. Like you keep a car from like the 70s, 60s, and that's when they know.
Here's a quick, BMW story. So, me and my wife, I think we went to Vegas. We had a car rental, and they're like, "Do you want to upgrade your car?" Because I forgot what it was, like a Nissan something was not available.
Ooh, Nissans.
And then we're like, "Oh, so what's available?" Like we were like ready for something else, right? And then they go, "We have the," and I might butcher this. We have the X5.
Sure.
Is that the model?
Yeah.
And I was like, "Wait, a BMW?"
Yeah.
And like, yeah, no charge. And we can rent this out. So we rented that out, and I was like, dude, the acceleration on that thing was nuts. And I think we fell in love with it.
For
it was
SUV,
like,
huh?
yeah, it was a white X5 driving in Las Vegas. Like, it was a good feeling just driving that car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll point out one of those things is like cars. When it comes to that, when you get faster and faster, you eventually get used to it.
Yeah.
I think that's what's nice about them. Like, not to just dive into this BMW thing, but it's like, if you could drive like 80 miles per hour and it just feels like you're going 65, like there's no nervousness, no hesitation.
You know, like I had a time where we stepped out of our normal. We got a Volvo.
Yeah.
You know, because
That's
my
nice
first.
Volvo,
I had a
though.
Volvo for
Yeah.
my first car.
My dad had a 1982 Volvo.
But the point was just like what you just said is like I felt like that car was screaming to go anywhere. You know, and now
I think that was moaning.
That wasn't a scream. That was a moan.
That wasn't a moan. It wasn't like.
Okay.
Hey, hold on now. Relax. Save it for the Patreon.
But just to be clear, I'm one of those ones. I'm not going to encourage everyone.
Sure.
I'm not elitist where I say everyone's got to have a beer.
Yeah.
You know, just because I enjoy them doesn't mean everyone's going to enjoy them.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know.
This next question comes from Dan. This is Dan. Who we
Hey,
always
D-Lo.
talk about. Yeah, D-Lo.
Yeah, we always talk about the pod on the side too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Share that a little bit. What do you guys talk about? I'm curious. No,
You know,
this is the first time you told me
Well,
that.
I was
so.
just telling him, like, you know, a couple of days before I game today, it was like, you should be on there too. I feel like, you know, you bringing out people from like your past.
Yeah.
Granted, we didn't jump into like our things growing up together.
No, we didn't.
You know, that can be saved for another time.
Another time, yeah.
More indirect and just like a kickback type of thing. And,
Yeah.
Right.
Like tomorrow.
and that's one of those things, me as like a big avid listener and watcher. Oh, I'm more of a watcher. I appreciate the video.
Oh, you
part
like
of
the
it.
videos? Okay.
Yeah, I'm
cool.
always on
Nice.
YouTube watching the videos because that's what I like. I like to see the things, you know, and you know, I like to nitpick, you know.
Yeah.
The last,
You like to comment too.
the last
I
episode,
appreciate that.
Yeah, the last episode I watched this week before coming in was the Gannon episode. And I, you know, you saw my comment. I was
Oh,
laughing.
yeah.
I was laughing because, you know, Brian was over there moving the mic. He was doing that for like the first 5 minutes. He was just
Exactly. I was like, oh my God, Ryan.
like, you know?
He's over there like,
And I feel like,
I couldn't hear. Like I'm.
Yeah, I
couldn't
know.
hear it, you know.
and
I was doing that to you today too.
Just the tip. So
And I feel like if it was on the stand right now,
yeah.
Brian would be moving mine right now.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like I'm one of those people. I move.
Yeah. I'd
But
be
yeah.
just following
Okay,
you.
so this is from Dan.
So this
the question, yeah.
So back to Dan. Can I have your old 5 and a dime stuff? Thanks.
dang,
Oh,
5
dang,
minutes.
5 minutes down.
He saw your
Shout out
he saw your
Yeah.
5 and dime.
Yeah, shout out to Jay, you know.
Yeah, shout out to 5 and
You
dime.
know, I'm not around as much anymore, but you know, back in the early days, I used to be out for their bike rides like weekly.
Oh, wow.
I tried to make it out as much as I could.
Yeah.
It was just like one of those things. Like I don't think he ever knew my actual name, but it was one of those people you could look
Oh,
at.
definitely.
You know, you ever had that one person you could look at, you guys recognize
Like
each
he
other?
knew.
Yeah.
I feel like
Have we met before in a past life?
He's probably met so many people in his shop.
He's probably
though.
met so
But,
many
like,
people.
Yeah.
I think that's the same thing for me. Like I don't remember names, but I remember faces. You know,
Yeah.
but I do appreciate the moments when I do meet you and have those like little
Yeah,
moments.
and I remember the first time I came across 5 Minute Dime, it was one of those things where, you know, I'm not saying I know everything about their crew and how they do things, but like, I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like, they got their own thing, they created their own thing.
Yeah.
Like
And that's
sometimes
hard
I
to
wish,
do.
like,
around with it.
you know, sure, I worked a day-to-day job as a nurse and stuff, but like,
Yeah.
dang, in the back of my mind, I wish I could be like my own type of person, have my own business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still can.
You still always can. Not saying you can, but like it's like, will I ever take that leap?
Because you got to pay your own insurance. And
Yeah.
like,
You know, unless my
there's
wife
no-
wanted to step up and carry me.
oh yeah.
So next episode, dining with Bo.
You know,
there's
it's funny
there's
thing.
no
The rebrand.
401k on
You
The
know,
that.
rebrand.
and the funny thing is, if you guys follow me when I'm out with dining with Christine,
Yeah.
or you'll see those behind the scenes.
I love the
the
behind the scenes.
where Derek
Yeah.
is just eating.
Yeah, that's so funny.
You know, and I've got this whole thing like you should make like a eating with Derek. You know, because
Spin-off?
it's just like one of those innocent things. You
Oh,
know?
yeah,
a kid just
definitely.
eating food.
It's
Yeah.
it's like all those like YouTube like kid playing with toys review things.
yeah.
You know? Like
And you know, my ideas on those. I'm like,
that's
it's a real thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You can turn it a real thing. Do I want to risk that though? Because you know, a lot of
You don't
people
have to answer now.
a lot of people don't realize like social media and stuff. Yes,
Yeah.
people get big,
Oh yeah.
Sure.
but like how many thousands of people don't get big, or
yeah,
millions of people?
Yeah,
don't,
yeah. It's a numbers game.
You know, yeah.
All right. This next question comes from Two Bear Vo. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's Two Bear Evo, my boy.
Oh my bad.
boy.
I thought they were Vietnamese for some reason. I'm serious.
like
I have
Bo
some
was
Vietnamese
the
friends.
last one.
Yeah, I like this. You guys said a lot of questions. I like this.
Yeah. No.
You know.
So just to paint a picture, Bo has the most questions ever sent for a guest so far.
I need to be a repeat right here.
Yeah.
Hey, as I should. With how much I support this pod.
Yeah.
Hey, I just hope from this, hopefully you get some more followers or some more listeners out
Yeah,
of this.
that'd be
You know what I
cool.
mean?
Nice.
It's about the impact and
You know,
over the influence.
like even if the people you've had, it's not all things I want to know, but
Yeah.
it's just interesting to learn.
It is interesting.
You know, I didn't ask to learn about anything from like In and Out,
Yeah.
and
it's
CJ's
interesting.
episode
CJ came
comes
on.
out,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know,
Didn't know that.
I never had that experience, so
Yeah.
that's cool to hear that stuff. You know.
All right. So they asked, do you miss your crew at Bayview?
Oh, Bayview for life, guys.
What is that?
Bayview was actually my first psych job.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay.
And you know, that was back when, you know, we didn't know better. We were young. We were all figuring it out ourselves.
Yeah.
And
In your 20s, early 20s?
early 20s. Yeah. We were all young, and I don't know if dumb is the good right word. but,
And full of.
we were young. We were figuring it out, and
Yeah.
you know, nothing shows you or tells you about the group you're working with
Yeah.
until you have like a psychotic naked person who is in need of help. You know.
Oh, okay.
And
That'll do
coming
it.
in, coming together, try to figure out the best way to deal with it.
Naked and afraid.
Oh, and it got to the point where, you know, this hospital was out down in Chula Vista, and we all lived in North County. And just to make it more fun, we would meet in Mira Mesa and we would carpool together.
Oh, nice.
just for like that 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah. Just like,
Yeah. It's just like,
That's
it's,
cool.
it's a fun thing.
Yeah. This next question comes from Reggie.
Damn, Reggie, where you at?
He goes, Bo, how come you're so sexy?
Well, let me tell you, Reggie, Bo's so sexy. Just kidding.
That's an easy one, you know. I just identify as.
Oh shit!
You know,
Let's end the episode.
I identify as sex and he.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
No, that goes to one of those things of like, you know, like you said,
Yeah.
stop worrying about what everyone thinks about you.
Definitely.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
when you stop worrying about those things, you can just focus more on like what's really going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we answered part of this question, but this is anonymous as well. Do you have any siblings? What's the relationship like? And are you close or are you not close?
My brother and I, it was kind of a funny thing. This actually came up with my other group friends the other day. So my brother's older.
Okay.
You know, we were talking about how I was more of the quiet person growing up.
Yeah.
It was one of those things like I felt like I just listened. I only said when I needed to say when I thought it was important.
Yeah.
Right.
And part of it was I felt like I was in the shadow of my brother. You know, I showed up in high school.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're Nimitz's brother.
Yeah, that's
And it was like
right.
one of those things that I felt like, dang, that's how I got identified. I was never my own self.
Yeah.
I wasn't known for my own things. I was always, you're Nimitz's brother.
Yeah.
And it's a crazy thing, you know. It brings in the whole thing of like, my brother and I are opposite. You know, I'm clean cut. I got, you know, I'm simple. I got the comb over haircut.
Yeah.
My brother, right now, I think he's got a multicolored mohawk.
Oh, nice.
Oh, damn.
Okay.
He's tatted up.
Yeah.
You know, he's fully covered with tattoos. Maybe like 75 to like 90% of his body's covered.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, and it's just interesting, right? It always puts that thing in the back of my mind of like, I work in this psych thing. How does this happen? We were raised by the same parents.
Yeah.
Right.
What happened here? So I was like, the only explanation would be there's got to be some form of genetic thing where this, within the reason it happens that way.
Follow your
But
numbers.
anyway, growing up, he was always very protective of me.
That's cool. Yeah.
Like a
I
good
felt
older
like-
brother.
Yeah, I felt like, I grew up with the traditional dad, not saying anything, but this is right. This is all wrong to now standard. My thing growing up was discipline.
Yeah.
Whether it was physical discipline or anything like that. Yeah. Whatever, it made me stronger. But it reached an age where my brother became bigger than my dad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And he protected me.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
He said, you're not going to do that to him anymore.
Oh, wow. Those moments are big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's sad,
Yeah.
And it's funny thing is like now he refers to me as like I'm the bigger brother.
Oh, what?
It's just like
cool
one of
to
those
hear.
things like, I got the family
Yeah.
and I'm independent and
So he looks up to you too, as much as you
well,
look up to
it's
him.
like an equal thing.
Yeah.
Right.
There's certain things we can pull from each other that, improve us both. And, definitely with what I work in now, I'm very good at queuing into, there's certain ways he needs to be talked to and responded to that work more in a positive manner for him.
Oh, definitely.
And it's kind of a weird thing. Like, I hate when that stuff comes out in my mind, I use it for work and it works really well.
Yeah.
When I start noticing that within like family and friends, I'm like, ooh, I have to stop myself.
Well, shout out to Nimitz. I think from my interactions with him since I've known you, we always talk about first thing is tattoos. He always shows me his tattoos, and from my fondest memories, he's always pop locking. He's always been a dancer. Like out of nowhere, he will like do these moves.
Yeah,
right.
And when he was younger, he was like that, and he's older now. And we go out to places, and he's feeling the music. I know he is.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's not that same person that jumps out there.
Okay.
And puts the spotlight on himself anymore. And
Just leaves it to Gen Z.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but
Last question. So this comes from Dan again. Why did you pick Psych, and why did you stay in Psych versus other specialties?
Yeah, like we touched base on that. I didn't choose Psych,
Psych chose me.
Psych chose me.
We were all
Yeah, I mean, it's not the prettiest answer. The honest answer was I was looking for the stability, and I was willing to do whatever I needed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what it turned into. And like I said, it didn't start off strong. I questioned myself. I could have stopped and got out of it. Yeah. But here we are, 13 years into it, and I'm like, this is where I need to be.
Yeah.
I always get those questions. Are you going to be in Psych forever? And I'm like, I don't see myself doing anything else right now.
Yeah, because that's your specialty right now.
I feel like it's going to be something that's available, especially with the way
It's needed.
the way society is changing now. You know, we're going through this big change of, I don't know if it's the algorithm or the meta, of like, we all, at least in my age, I feel we grew up in a thing of, we kept it in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We needed to be strong. We needed to put our strong face forward. And
Culturally too, right?
now we're switching it to everyone needs to open up and talk about it.
Oh yeah.
Don't keep it inside. And I agree.
Sure.
I agree in both things,
Well, and then there's strength and vulnerability. That's one thing that you never talk about, because I think growing up too, just briefly, my dad's like, "Don't cry, wipe your face." Like, you're not allowed to do that.
Even in myself, I can use that as examples. Like if I try to process something in my mind that I don't fully know and understand, I might give myself the wrong answer because I'll go down a track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I need to bring in someone from the outside and be like, "Can you look at this as a different perspective from me,
Yeah.
and see what I'm not seeing or see it differently?"
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need that.
Yeah.
All right. On to the next section of the podcast. We have our guest plug. Man, we are to the end. Where can our community members find you? Social media handles, website?
Yeah, none of those.
No.
I don't do those. Unfortunately, I would say the closest thing, just find me on Dining with Christine. If you ever see my hands,
Nice.
these hands,
So
He's a hand model.
Yeah.
These hands.
Those hands pay the bills.
It's the money makers.
You don't want to be on the other side of the hands, though.
Ouch.
But yeah, no. It's like one of those things. Like I'm very minimal in what I post in my thing. Right now I like sharing my kids.
Okay.
Nice.
So working with Dining with Christine, especially being a hand model, is that one of the things that you have to prep for? Or you're like, I can't have like dirty fingernails or boogers in my hands.
Oh, that's
I have
been
to cut my nails.
That's been a normal thing with me.
Yeah.
Clean hands and stuff like
on
that.
it.
Yeah, I have pretty hands. Yeah, but working with Dining with Christine has been one of those things. Like I've slowly learned, and there's certain things I automatically know what to do.
Yeah.
But there's still things I'm learning where she's like, "No, I'm not. I want to get this shot. You need to do this. Fine, let me do it." So some of those shots,
I like how you say it like that.
yeah, I'm being real. Some of those shots you see, I'm actually the one behind the camera.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then she gets mad and pinches
It's
you with her
really-
toe.
It's really amazing where this is headed. It's turned into a thing, where we're being honest. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like one of those things. Like, I think we need to start claiming taxes on this stuff.
No, you have to. I'm surprised you're not at this point.
Because I'm like, why
IRS, turn off the pod now.
No, don't worry. We
This is
claim
not a confession.
we claim on this, and we're getting to that next level of like, how do we maximize what we're doing with this?
Definitely.
And a lot of it is I'm finding is like, I'm beginning to be more nitpicky with food.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I don't appreciate certain things as much anymore, and I get bored of it.
Yeah.
Like what?
Did you like last night's dinner?
Last night's dinner was good. That was more of the
Chef Bo Ardee.
Hey.
you
Dining
know,
with Christine and Chef Bo.
I would have I would have liked to have my other sauces, the KBBQ.
Okay.
But you know what? You know what made up for it though? Being with you guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
It came a full circle of like I sit there, I watch the pod every other week it comes out.
Yeah.
And sure, I mean, I still in one or two comments, but I sit there and be like, oh man, that means so much. I can resonate with that.
Uh-huh.
But now sitting at the table with you guys,
Yeah.
turned into one of those things I got to, in real time, question you on something.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that. Let me hear more about
Yeah.
that, And then you find out, for the most part, you guys are as real as you guys normally are. Brian is as educative as he is on the pod as he is in person.
We try to stump him from time to time.
Yeah. And try to stump him, try to ask some random question.
Yeah.
He got an answer. I don't know if it's the right answer.
But we think it is.
But he made me feel like it was.
And that's the secret.
So it's a good thing.
Confidence.
Shout outs. Any shout outs, recognition?
So, continue with it. Shout out to you guys.
Thank you.
I love this. I love the fact that I got to watch all these episodes and all this stuff. And, I did in preparation. I was like, oh, I'm going to be on this.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know where it is. I didn't want to like script anything. I didn't want to really think about it. I wanted to go with the flow and see where it went,
Yeah.
where it took us,
Yeah.
and that's really how it is. And, sure, this episode was meant to be, tell you a little about myself, which is great and all. I just can't wait to the future episodes where you get into we're just here to hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're here just to talk.
Yeah, like tomorrow's episode.
Yeah. And like you said, you're gonna do that episode. Whoever wants to jump in, jump in.
Whoever wants to
It's
jump-
like
just jump in.
So far, I'm gonna tell you from this experience, this is great. I want to sit here. I want to be part.
Yeah, show the mic if you need to.
Yeah.
Upcoming projects or events that you're going to be a part of.
See. Now, the one I wanted to shout out, and I know you said this episode might not make it in time,
Yeah.
but he's gonna be a future guest on.
Oh,
this
he's going to
episode.
be future guest.
So ramen.
Yeah.
Ramen.
Hey.
Ron Baumburgers.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's one of my friends from the growing up that I can think about. This is the guy I had sleepovers with as a
Oh,
kid.
wow.
I remember, we used to just hang out.
Same neighborhood?
2 blocks down.
Okay.
Down the
So
street.
close.
I never knew
Walking
that.
distance.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
walking distance. Yeah.
There's core memories in there.
Yeah.
Core memories. Like we sat there. He introduced me to Adam Sandler.
What? Wait, are you kidding me? Oh,
Yeah, this is like a memory.
not in person.
No.
I was like, what? The Adam Sandler?
I love comedy.
Okay.
Right.
Granted, some comedy is not appropriate for other people. And things like that.
Yeah.
I used to enjoy comedy in its whole. And one of these key memories that sits back is I just remember sitting in his room, and there was like this Adam Sandler skit where like he was peeing. You guys know this skit?
Wait, Happy
like
Gilmore?
Big Daddy?
I don't know.
Happy
No,
Gilmore?
not Big
I was
Daddy.
thinking about big.
I think it was just his actual just voice comedy. And,
Okay.
and I just remember listening to this one where he's just like urinating forever. And you think he's done, it stops, and then he like coughs and it goes again. You guys know this one? No one knows this one? But yeah, it's just I just remember sitting there and
I don't remember that one.
listening to these things with him, and it was just like,
That's
the cool
cool.
thing. And into the phase of like, I can remember this as a good memory. We sat there, we took shoe boxes, and we made our own skate parks
What?
for finger decks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh
Yeah.
There's things like that
Hell yeah.
that are the key memories growing up.
Yeah.
And I look at it as like your thing is like this is your thing right now.
Yeah.
This podcast, this is your guys' thing. And Ramen, he's got this burger thing, and shout out to him. I try to support you as much as you can.
Yeah.
But your pop up is on Wednesdays, and I work on Wednesdays. We had one time where we actually picked up the food and brought it to work. My coworkers loved it. It's
Oh, nice.
It's just the hardest thing. We don't have, more than 30 minutes to go drive out and get to your place, pick up and
come back and eat.
It's so good. It's such a simple thing.
Oh, it is. Smash burgers.
Simple thing.
They
And,
are good.
I'll save it for him, but I think, if he comes into his background of how he got to deciding to cook burgers like that.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's ever told you, but yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Well,
I think-
save it for his.
Yeah,
Save
same
it for
get him on
him.
He's going to be on the pod.
Because I asked him, I said, what made you decide to start cooking burgers for everybody, And it was something he was doing in another part of his life
Okay.
that got him to doing that.
Nice.
Dang.
A little preview.
Those are
Yeah.
good, though.
But it's just interesting, it's like coming full circle. We were all young kids growing up together.
Yeah.
Look at us now, right?
Who would have thought?
Who would've thought?
Keep
It's a
saying that
common
this
thing.
episode.
Yeah. And
Not me.
it's one of those things. I appreciate it so much that like to have friends like this, our group of friends, even though we don't hang out all the time,
We still know we can contact each
we
other
can
for
we can meet
whatever.
up after like a year, 2 years,
Yeah.
and it just carries on.
Yeah. It's like,
We do our
never
little
changed.
we do a little update, but now with the pod, I feel like I'm more in tune.
Yeah.
Granted, I'm behind a couple weeks on what you've been doing, but
Yeah.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
hey, to the viewers, push this guy to be quicker with his.
Oh.
Yeah,
You're the second person that says that.
I know.
Behind Dan. Dan
Yeah,
always,
Dan always says that, yeah.
Always says that.
I just wish you got into maybe like the 2 week mark.
Oh,
know.
that's that.
So it's like if I made a
hard.
shout out about something happening in 3 weeks, you can have the episodes out.
Yeah.
Maybe one day.
Not now, though.
I know. I know you're backed up on your things, which is good. I like that you have other stuff coming up, and I like the variety of the people you're bringing in. But I'd love for you to throw into just like this episode's not about like talking about this person.
Yeah.
This person's going to be there, yes, but we're going to have our topics that we talk about.
Yeah.
Don't keep it keyed in on that person.
Yeah. That's the goal.
Yeah.
That's also the goal, to just have a reoccurring, guest. It's not always going to be about
Yeah.
that. Like for example, tomorrow we're going to hang out, right?
Yeah.
And just talk about random stuff.
Yeah, I'd love to. Not love. I'm going to find out, but
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see what you choose to talk about tomorrow.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, we'll see.
Shout out to you guys. You guys are reaching 1 year coming up on your podcast, which is
Yes,
It is the 1
I
year.
think we forgot about that. So we're
Yeah.
out here in Joshua Tree celebrating our first year anniversary.
Yeah.
May 9th is the first time we published our first episode.
Yeah.
Dang. The dark, awkward episode.
Yeah, the dark.
Because we didn't have lighting yet.
Because the lighting
No,
was,
yeah.
it was like, dark.
Yeah.
I grilled you on that one.
way
I was like, oh, it was a good episode, but like, can you tell me who you guys are?
Yeah.
And so Bo actually prompted the second episode, which was a two-parter.
Oh, yeah.
It was our origin stories.
Origin
Yeah.
stories.
Yeah,
And then that's one of those things. Like, when I get into things, I like to know the beginning of it.
yeah,
Like, why do I listen to you? I know there's certain things like you don't talk about exactly what you do
yeah.
Right.
for certain reasons. I get it.
But we listen. We listen to the comments. We adjust. We pivot and adjust when we can.
Yeah.
Next portion of the podcast is our last call. Thank you. Shout outs. Anything you want to plug. This is for Brian, myself, and Art. Upcoming events, podcast encounters from friends and families.
Well, shout outs to Dan, because I'm going to be photographing him next month. With
Which
his,
Dan?
Dan.
Oh shoot! Is his motorcycle?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to be
Which
figuring
Dan?
it out.
Which
Yeah.
Dan is this?
Our Dan.
Yeah.
Danilo.
Yeah, Danilo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are you gonna take pictures on a motorcycle?
Yeah. He hit me up for that, but like
Man,
I think
but-
it was supposed to be this month, but then like he has to do some stuff to it or whatever.
Yeah. So if you see Danilo's photos, just swipe right.
Wow.
I
I was gonna say, Danilo, you already got good videos, dude. I shouted you on your videos.
Nice.
Got the good reels. He's got the,
Yeah, he's
whatever.
doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid. I feel like everybody.
I was like, Art, are you alive?
Thanks for this weekend.
Yeah.
Like, honestly,
Overall,
you
yeah.
know, like everybody here, everybody in the audience.
Gracie on the floor.
That's a good one. I can't reiterate, man.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, honestly, because I don't normally like take time off. Like in my previous like place of work, I never took time off, and I had so much time like saved up.
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
know? So like now I'm being more intentional about it. Like I'm making
I love
sure I
that
take
word.
time.
Yep.
Right. And just if I have it, just use it. And this gave me an opportunity to do that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
and this makes me happy.
Well, it should.
Yeah. I think for me, just thank you to everyone that's here, everyone that's present, because time is like the biggest thing that we can't have back. We can always have money. We
Right.
can find new ways to make money, but time is something that I do appreciate, especially when you get older.
Right.
I appreciate everyone that's been here. Shout out to Bo. Like I said, I've known Bo since high school. It's cool to see the journey that you've been on.
Yeah.
And fast forward, who would have thought? Who would have thought?
would've
Like
thunk it?
I'm serious. A couple of knuckleheads in our group being like where we're at today, and using our experiences to find a career path.
True.
And excel in that. Shout out to our supportive wives. They're here. They've helped in this journey. They've been patient with us as well, waiting, right? But to everyone else too, for just supporting the pod, for reaching out. Shout out to Annalisa. I forgot. I stopped by Walmart and I ran into her, and she even mentioned that she brought the pod. I'm like, oh, good, because that's the first thing when I see people in the wild, right? I don't talk about the pod. I forget about the pod sometimes, and then they bring it up. So I think that's one of the coolest things to do, or to just bring up. And then shout out to everyone that's supported Bo in these questions. I didn't expect to have that many questions. Sometimes it's like pulling teeth for some of these questions. But shout out to them, and then shout out to everyone for this first year. Brian, Art, just for being here, taking the time. It's so hard for us to
line up.
to have our schedules line up. It's always pulling teeth too. But like we made this moment, like even Art said, you know what? I'm tired of having I'm tired of talking about like the negatives. Like let's just plan this trip. So we're here now, and then this is just year one. And thank you for everyone that's excited for this sophomore season. Thank you for hanging out with us. I'm brewpac.shakur.
This is Art.
This is Brian.
And I'm Bo.
Peace.